talk Yankees baseball. It's the defending World Series champion New York Yankees against the Houston Astros in the final game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. Another day, another win for the Yankees. They won 9-3 yesterday, and they go way back and go to your teammates to do the job.
Well, it didn't take long. Derek Jeter led the game off, get a pitch, and it's not a time you'll see him look for a pitch inside. Boom, 1-0 Yankees. Kind of unusual, though. You don't think Derek Jeter is a home run hitter, but later in the game, that's his patent inside-out swing, home run to right center field. And then a guy who's been struggling a little bit, Posada in the DH role, gets a big at-bat with bases loaded, stays on the pitch down and away, drives it out to right center field, grand slam, put the Yankees ahead for good.
Pretty good stuff from the two veterans, former teammates of Paul O'Neill. 2 for 4 for Jeter, 2 home runs, 4 ribbies. Posada, 2 for 3, a home run, and 4 ribbies. Jeter, his 9th career multi-home run game. So that's the good. Now, the one thing with the Yankees, they've been battling through injuries. And again, Paul, they're a little bit banged up. Yesterday, Marcus Timms with a hamstring problem, adding to all the issues before.
Well, this is something that every team deals with throughout the season, but the really good teams deal with it better because of depth. And obviously, the Yankees are one of those good teams. They're still playing well. They're still winning games without all their guys in the lineup.
Gardner back in the starting lineup. Timms on the DL. They brought up Chad Huffman, and he will make his first Major League start today for the Yankees. Well, Phil Hughes has been unbelievable for the Yankees. Started as the 5th starter. Right now he's pitching as well as anyone. We will explore his 2010 so far coming up next on segment 2 on Yes. .6.12 ERA, and Phil Hughes for the Yankees, 8-1 with a 2.71 ERA. And Paul, Phil Hughes has been unbelievable so far this year for the Yankees.
Well, I think every team breaks spring training with, a little question mark, and you get a big surprise. And Phil Hughes has really been that surprise. I mean, you see he has not lost that overpowering fastball that he found in the bullpen last year. But to expect this guy to be 8-1 at this point of the season, I think that even surprises the New York Yankees a little bit.
2.71 ERA, 6th in the American League. And catching him today will be Jorge Posada, freed of the DH duties. He's a catcher again. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next right here on Yes. 5th by Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. And by Panasonic Viera with 3D This Lifelike. Can we still call it a TV? Big crowd filing into Yankee Stadium on this Sunday afternoon to complete this weekend series against the Houston Astros. The Yankees have taken the field, and Phil Hughes has taken the mound. Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup presented by Lexus. Michael Bourne, the center fielder. The Yankees have kept him under control. He'll lead off, batting second and playing second. Jeff Keppinger. Hunter Pence in right field will hit third. Carlos Lee will DH and clean up. Batting fifth and playing left field, Corey Sullivan. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, bats sixth. Batting seventh and playing first base, Jeff Blum. Tommy Manzella, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And batting ninth and catching, Kevin Cash. Nice day here at the stadium. Phil Hughes on the mound. 8-1, 2.71. All the numbers are outstanding. Let's take a look at the scouting report on the Yankees' young right-hander.
Well, homeward bound. I mean, he's got a really good opportunity to be in that All-Star game this year. 8-1, and he's a Southern California boy, so be a big opportunity for him. No free passes. I mean, he's only walked 20 guys this year compared to 68 strikeouts. Unbelievable ratio. No steps back. You just continually wonder, is he for real? Is he going to continue like this? So far, so good for the Yankees.
Won the battle for the fifth spot in spring training and certainly has exceeded that. Hughes is ready, Bourne is ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is a strike, and we are underway.
Michael Bourne, we said the first down. He's leading the National League in steals, and we haven't had an opportunity to see him even run the bases.
Now we will.
And here's his first chance.
Let's take a look at the Yankees defense, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Gardner, Granderson, and the rookie, Chad Huffman. In the infield, Pena, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third to first. Posada behind the plate, and Hughes is on the mound. For Michael Bourne, that was his 14th infield hit. Shows you what speed can do. Jeter rushed the throw, and it pulled Teixeira off the bag. Now, as Paul mentioned, Bourne with 20 stolen bases. He'd been 0 for his last 11 before that single. And there he goes. Pitch is fouled away. Posada is behind the plate for the first time since May 16th, so he is going to be promptly tested with Bourne on first.
You know, if you're the Astros manager, you hope that Keppinger batting second is going to be a guy that can read the runner, take a first pitch strike to give him an opportunity to steal second. Now you're in a position with, you know, you're down on the count already that it's hard to do. But as a hitter, especially second guys, you've got to learn to take pitches, give your base stealers a chance to steal a base.
Brad Mills, the Astros manager, obviously would like to get this team running a bit, but they have to get on base. They have not been hitting. Lance Berkman, you know, one of their best players, is just lost right now. He's actually out of the lineup. So Bourne being on, now Mills could do some things. The 0-1. Driven out to right field, so Huffman gets a try. And he puts it away. So now he can take a deep breath, Paul. You know, he's probably hyperventilating out there.
That's funny. I didn't even say it, but when Michael Bourne hit that ground ball to shortstop, I was just looking down from our angle, and Huffman was sprinting from right field to back up. So it just shows you how much nervous energy you have as a rookie. Believe me, everybody is just going to sit back and enjoy the game. There's one guy's heart who's beaten out of his chest today, and that's that guy that's got his first major league start today.
He's from the Houston area. And when he got the call up yesterday, he called his family, and they actually flew in. They're actually in the ballpark today. So this is a big moment for Chad Huffman.
I mean, there's so many different ways to being called up, and usually for an injury, obviously. But most of the time when you're called up, you know, you're on the bench and you're waiting for an opportunity, not really knowing. I mean, it's a great advantage to come here. Joe Girardi puts you in the lineup the first day. You know, you can get over all your nervousness. You've already made the defensive play. You're going to get some at-bats. So a lot of things can get out of the way today as a rookie.
I got a little bit of a scouting report from Rob Thompson, the Yankee third base coach, on Huffman. He said max effort guy, and you noticed it, Paul, when he's running it back up first. That's not just nervous energy. That's how he rolls. That's what he does. And he's all over the place. He'll run through a wall. That's the type of player he is. Has an average arm, can play right, and can play left. TCU, and he played football and baseball. There was a second-round draft pick for the Padres. Pitch out, nothing doing.
One of the things is having an ex-catcher as your manager. He's really into trying to guess with the other team about stolen base attempts and pitching out. And those are always coming from Joe Girardi and Tony Pena from the bench.
Count 2-1. Pence hit a home run yesterday. Really an impressive blast over the Astros bullpen in left center and into the first row of seats in the bleachers. And there's Tony Pena trying to outguess Brad Mills and Michael Bourne.
Folks, if this is the first game you've watched in this series, we were talking about how his power is not affected by the way he chokes up on the bat. You don't see a lot of people this day and age choke up as much. You see yesterday, I mean, wow. I mean, there wasn't even time for you to call that, Michael. The only reason you had time is because how far it went.
What would be the harm in choking up, Paul? If you want to choke up, just have a longer bat.
Well, in the old days, I mean, you would choke up, to try to slap the ball the other way. It was usually a singles hitter, but it does give you better bat control. And in this case, Pence will show you it doesn't take away from your power. I mean, it doesn't affect your bat speed. It gives you a little bit more control. And if you center the ball in the middle of the barrel, you can drive it out whether you're down on the handle or not. Come with the one glove on, one glove off.
So Pence chokes up. Other batters you see with one of their fingers hanging off the end, but right around the knob. Or whatever feels comfortable. Let's see if they send Bourne. They do. The 3-2 is inside. So Hughes has a little bit of a jam here in the first inning. First and second with one out. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. Now, you see what we've done here. Temperature 73 degrees, high humidity, wind is 12%, it's cloudy, high in the mid-70s. And they have an area for your ranking there, Paul.
They give you a 7.5. All right.
Wow. But you like that, Paul's ranking?
That's awesome, man.
So we had a 10, a 7 yesterday, a 7.5
10
today.
Was awesome. Yeah, I gave you a 7.5 today. A little more blue sky.
I'm a little bit taken aback by the 10. It's overcast, kind of hazy, or a 7.5. I'm taken aback at that.
I'm seeing blue sky. I'm seeing the flags just waving. I'm feeling a little humidity in the air.
Right.
And as from a hitter's point of view, that's a good thing because the ball carries a little bit more. So you got to know where I'm coming from.
How about a jacket and tie point of view for the humidity?
That's it. Definitely too. That doesn't fit real well.
First and second, one out. The 1-0. There's a breaking ball, and Lee was kind of bailing backwards. Drops in for a strike. Lee yesterday with a home run. One of 2 home runs served up by Javier Vasquez. Bourne goes from second. The throw hits Lee and goes all the way out to Teixeira. It obviously didn't get Lee's body. It probably got Lee's bat. And now they're going to ask for interference.
Well, this is a tough call. I mean, this is a call, the umpire. I mean, the batter has every right to be where he is as long as he does not intentionally interfere. See, he didn't move, didn't go out of the way. And, the lucky thing for Jorge right there is his hand didn't hit that bat or a finger. He got rid of the ball. Every single day you see something in this game, Michael, you haven't seen in a while. I don't know that I've ever seen a foul ball from a catcher's throw. Huh?
That's pretty amazing, and it went all the way out to first base. And here it is.
Got good wood on it.
Great wood. Here's a 2-1.
We talked about Bourne early in the game, trying to steal on the first pitch, and then we also said, you know, Hughes' control has been so good. He ends up walking Pence. So, you know, effective speed, not always just stealing bases, but holding runners on and trying to, you know, vary your counts and when you go to the plate. All of a sudden, the strike zone's not where it usually is.
And the pitch. Driven out to center field. Granderson is there. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Bourne. He'll score easily. So a sac fly for Lee, and the Astros have a run.
This is the type of runs that the Astros are going to have to score just to compete every single day. You know, you've got Lee and you've got Berkman that can hit the ball out of the park, but for the most part, you're going to have to, you know, hit and run and steal some bases and hope that you get some opportunities to score runs with sacrifice flies and groundouts.
That's going to bring up Corey Sullivan. And that one's fouled away. I don't think the Yankees are overly worried about giving up a run here. And no disrespect toward Brian Moeller, but he does bring in a 6.12 ERA. So they'll think they'll be able to score some runs against him. The 0-1. Now 0-2.
You see it, you know, that last pitch, he missed his target, but he has such good velocity. He's so confident, you know, throwing that fastball. He actually was going in there and ended up over the middle of the plate. But a good enough pitch velocity-wise with movement that right now Phil Hughes can get away with it.
Fouled away.
Michael, you watched it last year. I think that he found that confidence and he felt like his fastball went to an overpowering fastball when he came out of that pen last year, where he came in for an inning or two and he used it to, you know, to put away guys, not only to get ahead.
Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. So Corey Sullivan down on strikes. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors and 1 man left. It's the Astros 1 and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Captain, the shortstop, big day yesterday. He'll lead off today. Batting second, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll hit third. Cleaning up and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher, half a day off. He'll be the DH. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, back behind the plate, Jorge Posada. Brett Gardner, the left fielder, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing right field, first big league game is Chad Huffman. Ramiro Pena, the third baseman, is going to bat ninth. All right, so let's take a look now at the numbers on the veteran Brian Moeller. 0-2, 6.12. 47 base runners in 32 and a third innings, and opponents hit 351 against him. Now the scouting report.
Well, Astros fans, turn your volume down because this isn't one of your favorite scouting reports. Familiar meat, the Yankees have faced him 11 times, pretty much feasted off of him. He's 5.0 ERA, 3-6. Righties dream. Righties are hitting 403 off of this guy this year. And ducks on the pond, it even gets worse. Runners in scoring position are hitting 528 versus Moeller this year.
That's not good.
Huh?
That's not good.
All right, Astro fans, you can turn your volume back up.
Here's Derek Jeter. Led off the the first inning with a home run yesterday and takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Now, Jeter has 39 RBIs. And that's significant. Why? Well, he didn't have 39 RBIs until July 24th last year, so well ahead of his pace. Now, Derek has driven in 100 runs or more just once in his career. Usually always a number 1 or a 2 batter, but in this lineup, which is circular when everybody's healthy, he can drive in 100 from the leadoff spot.
What you think, back in 70s, 80s, when the game was a lot different, that was physically impossible. Leadoff hitters, if they drove in 50 runs, had a good year. Offense being so much more part of the game now.
That one is laced into center field. It's a base hit in front of Bourne.
Fans, if you're watching Moeller go about this thing, he has to be absolutely perfect on every pitch to get strikes. He misses on this pitch, and this is what happens. You're going to see balls lined in the gap, balls leaving the yard when he makes any kind of mistake, and that's why it's so hard to pitch for that kind of stuff.
Now, he needs the ball to move, and back in 1999, he tried to get the ball to move illegally, and he was ejected from a game in '99 for having sandpaper glued to his finger, and he ended up getting suspended for 10 games because of that by then American League President Gene Budig. So now he has to try to get by in a more conventional way.
Looking for that legal movement.
Yep. Count 0-2 on Granderson. And the pitch. Nice stop there by Cash. Yesterday, the Yankees scored 9 runs, 8 of them coming because of home runs. Solo shot by Jeter, 3-run shot in the grand slam. This year, 34% of their runs have scored via the home run. Last year, 41%. So not as dependent on the long ball as Granderson swings and misses. For the first out. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes.
Now, all the advertised 3D television, so does that mean you sit in your home and you watch it and you wear glasses?
I'm not sure if you have to wear glasses. I think right now it's an evolving thing, but right now you have to wear glasses. I went to see Shrek last week. And you have to wear 3D glasses, and you just look around the theater, and everybody looks silly, and you know that you look silly too.
Yeah. You enjoy the movie though?
Good storyline, yeah, very believable. Yeah. Wasn't bad. I didn't like paying $16.50 to see it, but
is that what it cost?
That's what it cost in 3D. 3D movies, more money.
See, I can get you a Simpsons rate box. I'm telling you right now. Huh?
And they'll perform it live in 3D.
Yeah. Fill your tank up for 20 you can start with.
Moeller steps off, trying to keep Jeter at first. Oh, they still got the 21s out.
That's not even one of my kids. See that?
Rip foul. Our director, John Moore, said he wasn't sure if that was a Steve Kemp, number 21,
nice.
Who was here before you.
See, I just pushed the button to just cancel him out of my ears, so I don't have to hear it.
Shift is on for Teixeira, as always. That's why you really don't want Jeter to steal, because if Jeter steals and Felice covers at second, if the throw is even bobble, he can pop up and go to third, and the catcher's going to have a foot race to catch him.
See Moeller trying everything to try to get guys to swing at balls out of the zone. That's why it's such a tough matchup for him to face a veteran team that, you know, will take a walk. We'll wait for you to throw a strike.
Did that clip to Teixeira? Look, certainly looks like it did. So he's going to take first after being hit by Moeller. Oh, now the umpire is saying, I don't think so. And Joe Girardi will join the discussion. Ted Barrett is the home plate ump.
We talked about it in the old days when they used to wax and polish the shoes. They checked the ball if any time that there was a question. But, you know, I'm sure the slow-mo is going to show us this.
Well, you got him on the back foot as far as we can tell. Let's see. Well, did get the foot. Dirt and then foot.
See, the yes-mo is 100% right, you know?
It's my favorite thing. Well, we've already seen Ted Barrett. He's behind the plate. Tony Randazzo at first. Brian Gorman at second. And Paul Noward is over at third.
Hey, you're Ted Barrett. You're in the first inning. You've had two weird calls. Georgie hits the bat on a play. That's a decision you've got to make. Then you've got to call this. Thinking, what kind of day I got working here?
Jeter runs with the fly ball to center field. So Jeter will head back to first. And now Teixeira still arguing with Ted Barrett, saying, listen, the ball hit me, and I should be at first base. And I think he's saying, why would I want to be hit if I wasn't hit? I'd rather swing the bat. And you hardly ever see Teixeira argue. Has a very calm nature about him on the field, very intense and calm at the same time, if that makes sense. But he is still barking. Now you can see his foot vibrate there. It definitely hit the tip of his foot.
You know what it is? It's really weird that, you know, once you're hit there, you're starting to walk down first base. You've lost your concentration, and it's very hard to come back for a pitcher to it because it's in the back of your mind. You know, I should be at first base, and it's not that you don't want to hit or that it irritates you when you make an out because you pretty much just gave it away because you couldn't get back into the bat because you immediately thought it was over.
Runner goes. Fouled away.
Got hit by Mike Boddicker one time, and he wasn't a hard throw, and he threw a big old looping curveball. He held on to it, and it literally hit the grass in front of the plate, and barely hit me in the leg. And I didn't even know. I figured, it hit me up on a long, not even a short hop, but a long hop, and was ordered to go to first base, and that's where it surprised me. I didn't even know that it counted that way.
That's why Teixeira is so angry, because he knows he should be at first. So hitting the dirt in front of his foot does not eradicate the fact that he got hit.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think that stays with him until his next at bat? I mean, does he stew over that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's probably much better than I was at those type of things, but it does. It bugs you to your next time you can go up and clear your mind to have another at bat. First at bat in my mind is, it's very important at bat. It kind of sets the tone for your day. I mean, look yesterday, Derek Jeter leads off with a home run. All of a sudden it ends up being a big day. You dig yourself a hole, 0 for 1, 0 for 2. You're in a mindset of already trying to make up for, to have a good game. And it just becomes kind of a mental thing as the game goes on. And I have seen some numbers, guys that lead off the game with a hit, they're much better hitters, like 400 or some crazy amount. There goes Jeter.
And he's out.
And there goes Jeter.
So Jeter is caught stealing on a 2-6. A good throw by Cash. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. A very interesting first inning. The Astros leading 1-0. Then after the final out, come back to Yes for highlights and analysis on the WB Mason postgame. Coverage starts Tuesday at 6 right here on Yes. That first game is a beauty. It's CC Sabathia for the Yankees against Roy Halladay for the Phillies. And here's a former Philly, Pedro Feliz. The 1-0, breaking ball strike. Now, I got to tell the story because if I don't tell it on myself, I know that O'Neill is going to tell it. So between innings, with turning the monitor so we could see Steven Strasburg pitch against the Indians, his second big league start. And so he retires the side in order in the first inning, and he strikes out 2. And so the Indians are coming up. Travis Hapner's up, and I said, against this team, he might pitch a no-hitter. And then what happened, Paul?
It was less than a half a second after that. He threw his next pitch, and Hafner took him deep. Lost his no-hitter. So if I get Strasburg's number, I'll say why this happened to you. Because if he throws a one-hitter, it was all your fault again.
Pedro Feliz swings and misses. And the glee that Paul had in his voice as the ball was launched, he said, there's no no-hitter and there's no shutout either.
Wow.
You talking about hot with beards and that can't be too enjoyable.
You just see like the tumbleweeds and stuff blowing around that guy on his way to the ballpark, you know? That takes a lot of effort to do that mustache that way, Mike.
I would think. There's a strike. The 1-1 to Blum. Popped up. Cano is right there for the second out. Well, it's time now for the Toyota Text Ball. Today's question is, which matchup are you most looking forward to this week? And you can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rate supply. Are you looking forward to the Mets series over the weekend or the Phillies series coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
The Mets are probably playing better than the Phillies at this point, right? The Phillies have a little history with the World Series last year. How's that division going to shake out in your mind, Mike?
I still like the Phillies, but if Jimmy Rollins with a calf problem doesn't get back, that's a different offense. And Atlanta, with their young pitching, they're doing a pretty good job. I would say the Phillies. If you say who's going to win, I'd say the Phillies. But I like chalk, you know. I'll go for the chalk. 2-0 to Manziel. foul back.
Again, Phil Hughes gets in a fastball count, and you know he's got enough life on that fastball to get by with it.
The 2-1.
Good fastball, low at the knees. That's a four-seamer. He'll cut that ball to lefties, but against righties, just a power heater down and away.
Strike 3. Manzella down looking. 3 strikeouts for Hughes. Astros go down in order 1, 2, 3, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Their defense brought to you by Mercedes, Sullivan, Bourne, and Pence, left to right. And in the infield, Felice, Manzella, Keppinger, Blum, third to first, Cash behind the plate, Moeller on the mound. He's ready. He's ready for a foul ball.
A little lefty. You better get your glove up and ready.
He's chilling now. He knows the pitch isn't being delivered. Moeller about to deliver. Cano gets a fresh count now after Jeter was thrown out with Cano up.
It's always nice as a hitter to feel like you've got one at bat under your belt, but
didn't really happen.
Yeah, exactly. You just come right up, wake up, and you're right back at the plate. See how Robbie's moving today. He fouled the ball off his instep or his shin yesterday.
Tied him up.
Good pitch. You see the target. They're trying to get him off the plate. And as a hitter, again, you're like, you know, get out of the way, but don't let it hit the bat. And that's what happened.
The 1-1. Off speed.
Moeller seems to be kind of the old school of pitching where, you know, you bust a guy in, then you go away. It's almost back and forth, back and forth. Another big changeup away.
Strike 3. Cano down looking.
Bad call. It's kind of a back cutter or slider. Backdoored it. Again, I mean, that is an absolutely perfect pitch. It's probably still a little away, kind of came around the plate. But for him to be successful against a lineup like this, he's going to have to continually make pitches like that. And it puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher to be fine every single pitch.
Nick Swisher the number 5 batter in the lineup, DHing today. Pitch outside. Now, Alex Rodriguez missing his 3rd straight game because of the hip flexor issue. They hope to have him in Tuesday against the Phillies, but still no guarantee. They don't want to rush it. He's receiving treatment. So Pena is starting at 3rd today.
Rush back to Roy Halladay.
Maybe take another day.
Just in case, and make sure it's 100%.
High fly ball down the right field line and out of play. Did you ever get Randy Johnson fever? Because everybody used to get a little sniffles when Randy Johnson, they were left-handed.
Buck was good. He just, the way they pitched me, he didn't put me in the lineup against him because they like to throw up and in a lot. And you know, there is a point where it's just you can't pick up the ball from Randy Johnson as a left-hander. And we had enough righties that Randy Velarde wore him out, so I usually got the day off.
Strike 3, so he is really hitting that outside corner against the lefties. 2 in a row, and Swishers don't know that was not a strike.
That ball was set up by the pitch before, and you see this is that same pitch, kind of a cut little fastball, started off the plate, and hopefully just gets Ted Barrett to think it hits the corner.
Wow, that was outside.
It hit the corner of the other batter's box, but Ted Barrett's got to feel like it's the 8th or 9th inning already. Much stuff's going on behind home plate.
Pitch outside to Posada. Posada yesterday with the grand slam.
Big day for him offensively. I mean, when you go through struggles and then all of a sudden you get a couple big hits, you got to keep battling to get something going where you can go on automatic pilot and just know you're going to have good at-bats. Swisher knows that ball's away. We've all been there.
And the reason he knows, for those that haven't been underneath the stadium, you walk down those steps, and that's right where the video room is. So he went to check that pitch, and he knows it's outside. So he told the coaches, and they were just barking at Barrett, and that's why Barrett turned toward the bench. Because now Nick has video proof of what he thought his eyes discerned, that it was outside.
You're so locked into that outside corner from a left-hander's view, especially against a righty that you know is going to try to punch you out, that you know that ball's out, and then you almost reinforce it by going and watching the video, and that even makes you more mad.
Yeah, you'd rather not have the proof, right, Paul?
At least you know you're not going crazy. Your eyes aren't messing with you. You're seeing Moeller at his best here these first couple of innings. Change-ups, little cutters away. I mean, it's busting left-handers in. So everything he has to do as a pitcher, he's done in the first couple innings. It's just a matter of if he can do this for 6 or 7 innings.
So Posada with a 2-out walk. Let's look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. What a great week of baseball. Philadelphia 3 games starting on Tuesday, all night games. World Series rematch. And then the second leg of the Subway Series. The Mets come into town Friday night and Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Then the Yankees hit the road.
Every one of those teams in the last, 10 years, the Yankees have played in the World Series, huh?
That's right. And then there's a little drama to that, too.
Yeah.
Joe Torre managing the Dodgers. Here's Brett Gardner. Pitch high, 1-0.
Well, what's your vote on that text poll, Mike? You look for the Phillies or the Mets? I mean, you're a New Yorker where you still have that Mets-Philly. You talk about that every day on the radio, so.
I think they're both exciting series. The Phillies aren't playing well right now. There's always something good about the Yankee-Met series. There's a little extra
juice. Some
juice.
little thing comes up all the time.
Yeah,
right?
So I'm probably looking forward to that one.
The holiday thing's a good story. I mean, there's #1 pitcher in the National League coming in here to Yankee Stadium.
Popped up. Blum is there, and he'll make the play for the final out of the second. We played 2 here at the stadium, and the Astros lead the Yankees 1-0. base camera well. Jack, you would think that Andy Pettitte and Phil Hughes, with their manager managing the American League team, might be pretty good shots to make the All-Star team.
I think that would be a great idea by you, Michael, and a great point, and I think it's going to happen. Joe Girardi has been consulting with AL officials about that All-Star team, and even though the game is a month away, I did ask Girardi today about Pettitte and Hughes specifically and the numbers that they've put out there.
Kevin Cash with a base hit into right field, so he leads off the third with a single.
And Girardi needs to be coy because he can't give away his roster right now, but he did tell me that Pettitte and Hughes are right there. They're on the radar. They're high on the radar. He said, just look at their numbers. They stack up against anybody in the American League. So, Michael, I think as long as both of these guys don't absolutely plummet over the next month, they should make plans to be in Anaheim. And as Paul noted, that's pretty cool for Phil Hughes, who grew up 10 miles from Anaheim Angel Stadium.
I'm always curious about this, Jack, because I always hear different answers from people. Was it totally Joe Girardi's call? Oh, what a play by Ramiro Pena, taking a base hit away from Bourne. He's playing in for the bunt, very little time to react, and he reacted beautifully, Paul.
Well, again, you said it, Michael. That's just a reaction play, not anything else. Great play by Pena.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Anyway, finishing my point, Jack, is it totally Girardi's call, or does the American League have say?
No, they have some say, and that's why some managers in the past, when managers get criticized, I mean, remember, Michael, you have to bring someone from every team, so there is some give and take. I think they like the managers to be able to make the choice, but it's not totally his call. There will be input from the league as well.
All right, now the final out of the bottom of the second, Brett Gardner popped up to first base. You spoke to him before the game. Is his thumb, is it 100%?
It's not 100%, Michael. He told me he thinks it's about 90 to 95%. He said he can play with the condition that it's in now, but the point that he made to me, Michael, is it better not get any worse. This was a thumb that caused him to miss 6 weeks last season. He was happy last season because he didn't need to have the surgery. Now the fact that the injury has reoccurred, it's the same thumb. He said to me he wonders if he might need to have surgery after the season. But, Michael, if you saw under his batting glove and how heavily he tapes that thumb, he's really careful. He doesn't want it to get any worse than it is right now.
Is it just a matter of managing pain, Jack?
Some of it is managing the pain. There's no doubt about it. And as I said, the tape is really... It's part of the reason I started to talk to him about it. I said, did you do something worse to your thumb? And he said, no, this is how I need to tape it before every game. He said, my left thumb is such a big part of my game and my swing that if I keep it like this, I feel that that's the safest way for me to go.
Jeff Keppinger at the plate. We're talking with Jack Curry down on the third base camera. Well, let me ask you very quickly, Paul. You saw how Gardner's thumb is wrapped on his throwing hand. Do you think it would have any effect on his throws?
No, I think hitting, I mean, more pressure. But there comes a point in time where you've got to look yourself in the mirror as a player and say, am I just able to play the game, or am I able to go out and contribute and be a good player? And that's the big question you're going to find out in the next week or so when he gets out here.
And finally, we mentioned this earlier, Jack. I jinxed Steven Strasburg, but you love to work the phones, and you actually spoke to a teammate of Strasburg's at AAA.
Right, Ron Vallone, the former Yankee, who I guess, Michael, I could say is the former everything, all the teams that this guy played on. He also is a teammate of Strasburg. They played together in Syracuse at AAA. And, Michael, he was gushing about the kid. He said, you see the 100-mile-per-hour fastball, but as a pitcher, what I love about him, he said, this guy is thinking out there. He said, he's just not throwing 100-mile fastballs down the middle.
That one is slowed down by Hughes. They get one, and that's all they'll get. But Hughes slowed that down and stopped a base hit from Keppinger.
I wanted to hear the rest of your story, Jack, so I'm glad they didn't turn two. Go ahead.
I'm glad, too. But he said that he has this wicked curveball, and he said he thinks out there. That's what Vallone loved about him. He said game to game, watching him at Syracuse, he said the adjustments that he made were what impressed Vallone the most. Vallone also loved that he wasn't afraid to ask questions. He said he didn't big-time anybody. And he also said, you look at his scrawny build, he said if he puts on a little bit of meat and gets some upper body strength, he said watch out because this guy's stuff is going to be even better.
Can't imagine him throwing harder than 100 miles an hour, but maybe it could happen. Jack, good stuff. We'll see you in the postgame.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, that's Jack Curry, and he will be on the postgame. After the game, WB Mason postgame with Bob Lorenz.
I'll tell you, we were talking to Jack, and that was a wicked line drive.
Yeah.
Originally, I thought it was kind of a jam shot. That ball was hit hard, and you'll look, I mean, that was inches from hitting Phil Hughes in the head. So ended up being a possible double play. But boy, that ball, scary shot up the middle.
The 1-0. Fouled away. Well, we were here a couple weeks ago with David Huff, so that's scary. And let's take a.
You see, I mean, this ball is hit hard and right there. That ball is not far from hitting him in the top of the head. So good play to get a glove up and ricochet it over to Jeet and get an out. But that wasn't a jam shot. Phil Hughes has been using that fastball, and I was anxious to see, how Jorge would kind of change things back behind the plate. And it seems like he's really gone to that fastball. Now you get some runners on. He might go for those strikeouts with the curveball, but been very successful. Breaking ball here, burying that fastball away to right-hand hitters.
Grounded foul. Cervelli getting a rare day off, so picking the mind of Tony Pena. And Alex Rodriguez, with his third straight start missed.
Throwing down a big gulp over there, isn't it?
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees trail 1-0 top of the third. Pence grounds this one fair to Ramiro Pena. He fires across the diamond, and that will do it. No runs hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Chad Huffman will have his first big league at bat in a moment. Greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Back in 1948, the Yankees retired Babe Ruth's #3 jersey during ceremonies commemorating the 25th anniversary of Yankee Stadium. And #3 was never to be worn again in Yankee history. Well, this is a very exciting time now for Chad Huffman. Those are his parents. The guy in the green shirt is his dad, Royce. The woman with the camera is his mom, Debbie. And he has 8 tickets left for family and friends, so they made the trip from Texas, and here they are. They're about to see something that they've probably waited their whole lives for ever since Chad has been born and said he wanted to be a baseball player. So Brian Moeller deals, and there's a strike. Take me inside that batter's box, Paul. Is he nervous?
Heart's racing, beating, just everything that you possibly could work for the past 5 or 10 years is right here. You have a hard time looking at the longevity. You just want something to happen now.
And that one is nub foul, so they count 0-2. And they must be nervous as well because there's nothing they can do about it other than watch.
I have noticed that watching your kids, I think, is more nerve-wracking than doing something yourself because you have no control over it. And you've lived the ups and downs.
Mom's getting the picture, too, which is neat. Second-round draft pick out of TCU. And that was with the Padres. Yankees picked him up. He was designated for assignment. They picked him up off waivers. And he's been down in the Yankees AAA farm team. Hit .279 there with 5 home runs and 22 runs batted in. And that's his resume.
That's where you got to be real careful if you're Huffman, because Moeller is, you know, he got ahead in the count. Now he's not going to give in, but you know, the mentality of a minor league player is now that the pitcher's starting to fall behind, he's going to come right at you. And he doesn't. Now he's battled back for a 3-2 count. Make sure you get a good pitch here. You can see a lot of things going on. Tightening those gloves, adjusting it all.
And the 3-2. Nub slowly. Charging his Manzella. Fires, not in time. A base hit in his first big league at bat.
It counts, right?
That's not the way they drew it up, but it counts. And they're going to get that baseball for the kid, and it's going to be on the trophy case, and he'll have that forever.
Let's tell his kids last years down the road, it was a line drive right up the middle. A little cutter away, kind of nubbed it, but again, when you can smell your first big base hit, run a little bit faster.
And he was saved. Mick Keller has the ball. And it's going to be put away for safekeeping. There's Pena. Shows bunt. Now let's watch the mom and dad as he's running down to first. Come on.
I love
it. That is so neat.
Gino will be in there, and he'll mark that ball up for him. That's one of Gino's specialties, too. You ever seen one of the balls he, writes on stuff? He's got that good writing. He's done so many of them.
Now, I know I'm going to ask you something. I pretty much know the answer. You got to hit in your first at bat.
Yeah.
Now, the Silver Slugger bat you won for the batting title, you said was under the couch somewhere.
It's
so I assume that the ball is lost.
The ball's down there somewhere. Just
under
it's
the couch?
in the archives, yeah.
Did they have somebody on the Reds that marked it up like Gino marks it up?
Yeah, Bernie Stowe was the clubhouse guy at that time, and he took care of that there. And with, Pete Rose and Johnny Bench and Concepcion, guys like that, he had plenty of practice, too. But
what was your hit, a single?
Yeah, first pitch I ever saw. Should have been a double. I was so nervous my legs wouldn't run to second. I kind of just rounded first and was happy.
Who was the pitcher?
Jeff Lottie from the Cardinals.
1-2.
Yeah, but so I remember walking into the clubhouse that day, and Pete Rose said, congratulations, you had a great year. They're in the playoff race. And he said, I want you to sit back and learn from these guys. Probably won't see much action. It just so happened that first game we go into extra innings. Calls me to grab a bat, and I pinch hit like in the 11th inning. So I was kind of surprised, and I didn't even know if my mom and dad were watching, but they called after the game. So probably the same reaction that we just saw up in the stands.
And back when you broke in, there wasn't such a thing as a cell phone, so.
No, it was a.
Did they have color TV then?
Yeah, you had to dial 9 out of the hotel and go through all the MCI numbers and everything.
Now, what Chad Huffman's probably going to get is that the Yankee trainers, Gene Mana and Steve Donahue, always give a bogus one first with the name misspelled.
Yeah.
And then the kid looks at the ball, he's crestfallen, and then they give him the right one. The 2-2 popped up. Center field, Michael Bourne. One away. That's going to bring up Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I think Pena realized he had a pretty good pitch to hit. Mulder's given him a lot of those little slider cutters in, and that one saw a lot of the plate. every once in a while you get a little long and try to do a little too much with it, and you end up popping it up instead of driving it out to right field. Huffman did steal some bases in the minor leagues, but he's not one of those guys that you look to steal 20 or 30 bases every year.
Now, the scouting report on him is he's an excellent base runner. He's not a burner, though, but he knows how to run the bases, knows how to cut them, knows how to read them, and does get a good jump. Now, I got a look-alike for you, Paul.
Look-alike for me?
You see Chad Huffman there?
Yeah.
Tanyan Sturts.
Tanyan Sturts. I can see that.
Wow.
I'll give you that.
Nice.
A little bit.
Moeller works slowly and throws the ball slowly. Throws the ball slow. He works slowly, throws the ball slow. There's a strike.
Huffman would be one guy that most everybody that steals bases for the Yankees right now are on their own. Joe Girardi trusts them to pick pitches, but Huffman would be one guy that would have to get the steal sign from Robbie Thompson across the field.
And there's Rob going through the signs.
Let's say he'd get a chance to go here. 3-1 with G.
Runner goes. Grounded to short, backhanded by Manzella. The off-balance throw. That's a good play by the Astros shortstop to get Jeter.
I was going to say, I mean, that play right there, as good as Jeter gets down the line, he made that play look easy, but he's going dead to his right. No loop in that throw, good play.
That's all arm because he didn't have any time to set.
And that's a good defense adjustment there, because Huffman was going, and a lot of times before the pitch you have to decide who's going to cover second. With Derek Jeter, as much as he goes to right center, you know, you would think that the shortstop might cover. And he kind of held his ground and was able to make the play.
Pitch inside to Granderson. Guy like Moeller, Paul, the batters get a different take on him the second time around?
Well, you're never, I mean, he's one of those guys that you go up there and you know it's going to be a battle. Not that he's going to overpower you, but you have to be patient, and you cannot lose your concentration on one pitch, because everything he's going to nibble with, everything with speeds, with inside and outside. If you wait, you'll get a good pitch to hit.
Lum fields that one near the line, and that'll do it. So Moeller survives the first big league hit by Chad Huffman. So he's been waiting a while. Second round draft pick out of TCU. Slow roller to short. Hustling, flying. He gets the base hit, makes his parents happy, and isn't that what every kid wants to do? two current teammates have played together for the most consecutive seasons in the National League. We'll find that out in the bottom of the fourth. Carlos Lee took a first pitch strike from Phil Hughes. See that note today, Paul, that yesterday Derek Jeter homered to lead off the game, and Jose Reyes led off the Met game with a home run. It's only the third time that the Yankees and Mets have had leadoff home runs on the same day in the history of their franchises. Happened twice before. In 1986, it was Ricky Henderson and Lenny Dykstra, and last year, Jeter and Angel Pagan. So now Jeter and Reyes yesterday. Sac fly by Lee in the first inning, accounting for the only run in this game. The 1-2 popped up. Cano, 1 out.
See Lee go after that high fastball, and he can handle that pitch from an average fastball. But Hughes, we've talked about it, that late life, just a little bit too much to handle up there. Carlos Lee.
Here's Corey Sullivan. And the count 1-0. A line drive and a base hit. Sullivan has the oddest stat. It's an amazing stat. That's a base hit for him. He started today in left field. You know that he's had 40 pinch hit appearances this year? 40? Yeah, he almost pinch hits every game. I mean, it's National League, obviously, and Brad Mills uses him. 40 pinch hits.
He's a wanted bat DH.
You're right. You're right. 40 pinch hit appearances, not 40 pinch hits. Here's Pedro Feliz. Real solid clutch player for the Phillies the last couple of years. Became a free agent. And the Phillies signed Placido Polanco to play third base, and Feliz ended up signing with the Astros.
Polanco, one of the few guys in that lineup that are putting up big numbers. Good, solid player. You remember him being with the Detroit Tigers.
The 0-1. Count 1-1.
A backup curveball there. Didn't quite hit the inside corner. Hughes has really, so far this game, really relied on his fastball. I think as the game progresses, Jorge will get more of that cutter working and more of that curveball going. The name from the past, Michael, Bobby Meacham.
Former Yankee player and a coach, third base coach, Joe Girardi's first year here with the Yanks. Foul back.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an intentional thing, but Hughes is really using that upper strike zone for his fastball. All three batters this inning. Lee got on a pop-up. And you just saw Feliz right there, just couldn't quite catch up. But Sullivan caught up to one before and lined it to right field. So usually when you start using that high fastball, it's going to set up that curveball too, because it kind of is in the same plane when the hitter, picks it up out of your hand. Wow.
That one's driven deep to left field. Backing up is Gardner. He's there in front of the track. He'll make the play for the second out.
Every once in a while you'll see, and I'm sure if you're a pitcher, you wonder how this happened. You kind of set up that pitch. You threw some good high fastballs, and you throw a good curveball right there, and it seems like the guy is right on it. And if you look at this ball had break on it, a little up in the zone, but right on it.
There's Jeff Blum.
Popped to second. That was in the second. And that's another pop-up. And again, Cano backtracks. And he'll make the play for the final out of the fourth inning. No runs are hit. Now one man left. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Astros. I guess they're in the ballpark. Let's see. Berkman and Oswalt, 10 seasons.
I was going to say a few years ago, I mean, it was an easy. It was Bagwell and Biggio.
That's
right.
They
played together for ages.
Pitch to Teixeira is a strike. So you think it's over now? Teixeira's forgotten about being hit?
Yeah, I think that it can't help him in this at bat.
Moeller deals. Shift is on with no one on base. The second baseman plays in short right field. Now, when Teixeira rolls over on the ball and hits a slow roller towards second base, he can beat it out because it's a long way to charge to get to that ball. And we saw him do that in Baltimore. And also, the second baseman got a bad break because the ball went off the lip of the outfield grass and over his glove. That was Julio Lugo.
Got a lot of names in your head, you know that?
A lot of voices, too.
That could be a problem.
There's a strike. And the pitch. Blooped out toward first. Blum is there, and there's one away. Let's take a look at the way they attacked him, Paul. Let's look at the pitch by pitch brought to you by Suzuki Kizashi.
Wow, you got to change speeds and change planes, and you'll see everything and early in the count is down, off speed, a little cutter in. But then right here, he set up that one pitch. The earlier pitches in the count, the off speed stuff, just got it in enough where Teixeira couldn't turn on it.
Here's Cano. He struck out looking. High fly ball, right center field. Going back is Pence on the track at the wall. See ya! Home run, Robinson Cano. Game is tied at 1. And that is his 100th career home run and his 13th of the year.
You know, he He's so much fun to watch, and you'll see this ball, every time the catcher has to reach for one of Muller's pitches, it's usually going to end up in a bad spot, in his case, over the fence. But, you know, Robbie Cano, you just know when he goes up there, he's going to get a good swing, and if you make a mistake, he'll hit a home run, and if you make a good pitch, he could drive that to left field or right center, too.
Take a look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
You see this ball is going to end up right in the middle of the barrel. Head on it, straight through it. I mean, if you want to make a hitting video, just take Robbie Cano's year so far, and you can just see good mechanics, good thoughts, everything when he walks to the plate.
"13 homers now, 47 runs batted in. That's home run. Extended his hitting streak to 7 straight.
See a big difference with Robbie. You see that last pitch. He was a little out front, but he stays through the ball, drives it out, and then, you know, conversely, Nick Swisher, who kind of bails and tries to, you know, hold the ball. That last pitch he got, he kind of came off of the ball because it was an off-speed pitch.
Strike 3. Swisher down looking again. And again, he cannot believe the call. Standing there at home plate, just staring.
You see here, he just paints that outside corner with that cutter again. That ball is a little, the pitch that's kind of set up as a bat right here. He got a change up in, like Robbie stays through that. You see his hip and everything kind of going out that way. And sometimes if you're not perfectly timed on that pitch, you'll foul it off. Difference between Nick Swisher's swing and Robbie Cano.
Pitch outside to Posada. Jorge reached on a walk in the second inning.
You know, Nick Swisher, we talked about the first time he saw that cutter away, and it was almost in the other batter's box. And now it gets into your head. You think that you got to cover that pitch. And, you know, that last pitch was probably, you know, closer, still right on the outside corner, but it just becomes a mental battle that you know you got to handle that pitch off the plate if he's going to call it.
Right down the middle on 3-0, count 3-1. Now some counseling from Cano. He does it all.
If you think about it now, I was looking at Pena's last at bat. He kind of got that same hanging curveball, and he tried to do a little bit too much with it, and he popped it up. And Cano's probably saying, you know, if you stay through that ball, if you don't look to pull that ball, you'll do good things with it. And the funny thing was, you know, 2 years ago, if we saw that same shot, it would have been Jorge or Jeter with their arm around Cano. And it's kind of passing the torch. When you hit the ball as well as he does, it's easy to talk to people about hitting. And that's where the true talk comes in. It's when Gino or Stevie come over there to give you some hitting tips, right? See that? Attaboy, Stevie.
They are the confidants of the team, those two, Donahue and Monahan. And the 3-2. Posada walks. So he's walked twice.
Would you go to bats for Georgie? Because, you know, like we talked about yesterday, he had some good at-bats. He hit the grand slam. But before then, tough at-bats. But you always want it to come back quick. And you don't, it doesn't come back by walking all the time. I mean, you want to throw hits out there, but you have to be patient enough to take those walks and not just give those bats away.
Here's Gardner. Boy, he just zeroes in on that outside corner.
He's using two separate pitches. I mean, that's kind of an off-speed BP fastball or a changeup, whatever you want to call it. And then he also is going to come around the plate with kind of a cut fastball. So he's hitting it from two different angles. Not an easy thing to do. He's been good at it so far. You know, a lot of those pitches have been set up because he's been able to throw that fastball, that cutter, right under the hands of left-handed hitters, which you'll see right there. And it sets up that outside corner. Now you're ahead. Now you can go away, or you can go down and in, or something in off the plate to see if they'll swing at it. It's really a cat and mouse game when you face a guy like this, because you know he's just not going to challenge you time and time again. So it's just, you kind of you get in a guessing game. This is the ball up and in off the plate. See a lot of the same pitches to other at bats, and this is the pitch that Teixeira swung at. Didn't quite get to. Doubled up, went right back in there. Really done a good job at mixing up his pitches. We talked about how much trouble he has had with running to scoring position and basically just getting guys out. But so far today, Moeller's really battled, thrown a lot of good pitches.
Came in with a 6.12 ERA. Lifetime against the Yankees 3-6, 5.09. Pitching much better today. The 2-2.
Oh.
Wanted that one. He's been getting it for most of the afternoon, so now the count full.
I was telling the first baseman to play behind him. He's going anyway. And that's about that 50-50 call today. That's been a strike, and it's been a ball.
Runner goes. Right away. On the way.
If you're looking at a kind of a health report on Brett Gardner and his thumb and his hitting, I mean, that pitch right there, if he can get to that pitch and he had a good swing at it, tells you that he feels pretty good, because that ball inside with a little cut on it's the ball you have to be real quick, real strong with your hands to get through. Good change up. Boy, there's some good pitches. Moeller just missed. Gardner got the benefit of the doubt. But you see, that's what he has to do. He can't give in and just go right at somebody. This has been his problem all year. Now you've got men in scoring position. First opportunity for Huffman to try to drive in a run.
And Huffman now has a lifetime batting average in the big leagues of 1,000.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
What's your feelings here, Michael? Is he going to drive a run in?
Yeah, I think he will.
This is it?
Because Moeller, with runners in scoring position, hitters are 19 for 36. That's 528. So I'm giving you stats to back up the yes.
You're one of those stat guys, right? Everything by the book?
No.
You don't get that gut guy?
Oh, look at my guts. You know I'm a gut guy.
I was not going to go there, but since you brought it out there, all right. Put the slimming pinstripes on today. Don't worry about it.
Always. The 0-1. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Tony Randazzo. One outside, 2-1. Now a single does not guarantee a run because Posada does not have great speed at second. Michael Bourne leads all Major League outfielders with 7 assists. Hunter Pence has had more outfield assists, 37, since the beginning of 2008 than any other outfielder.
just say they got a lot of opportunities because they're giving up a lot of runs, a lot of opportunities to throw guys out. But pretty good outfielder too. I mean, Bourne, we talked about earlier his speed. And good things happen out there with speed. I tell you, get to the ball quick, get rid of it.
Two, 1, 3-1. Tough first year for Brad Mills. Finally gets his managerial chance and doesn't really have the best team. 3-1. Fouled away. In fact, he waited 27 years after the end of his major league playing career. He played for the '83 Expos. And the last man that took that long of a gap between his major league playing and managerial career was Bobby Maddock. Became the Blue Jays manager in 1980, 28 years after finishing his big league career in 1942. 6 years as the Red Sox bench coach, 11 years overall as a Major League Baseball coach, and 11 years as a minor league manager. 3 straight walks to load the bases as Huffman would not expand the strike zone, much to the delight of his family.
He saw his dad say good at bat there, and it is a good at bat. I mean, you're so anxious to try to get that pitch. And, you know, that 3-1 pitch, he had a good pitch to hit, and he kind of fouled it off. But you got to remember, you know, you walk, keep this inning going.
So Brad Arnsberg goes out and talks with Brian Moeller. Now let's see if the counseling from Cano works for Pena.
They just turned it up in here, didn't it, Michael? I think everybody's kind of just assuming that you're going to come out and beat the Astros again. But again, you look at the scoreboard, 1-1. You can't assume that's going to happen. You got to go out and beat teams. An opportunity to give Hughes a lead right here.
Now, Pena had so many big hits for the Yankees last year. Yankees had the bases loaded here. Posada, Gardner, and Huffman. And Pena is seeking his first RBI since May 19th. Has not seen as much playing time of late. But now with Rodriguez out again, playing third base. And a strike.
He's kind of gotten in the pattern of these lefties, off speed away, and then with 2 strikes start busting them in. So see if that continues. Back in here.
Line drive. There's a base hit to right field. Posada scores. Here comes Gardner. He'll score. They have Huffman hung up. They made the tag, and that'll do it. So a 2-run single for Pena. And the Yankees, with a 3-run 4th inning, lead this game by a score of 3-1. 3 runs on 2 hits. And 1 man left on base. Pena comes up big, and the Yankees are up by 2.
Tommy Manzella leads off against Phil Hughes, who drops in a strike. Now the base hit for Pena, he's now 6 for 9 with the bases loaded in his career, and Huffman was out 9-3-5. Pitch outside to Manzella. It'll be Manzella, Cash, and Bourne.
That was just a case of a good pitch and just a better swing. I mean, he stayed with it. He didn't come off of it. He got jammed, but he, you know, with men in scoring position, anything out of the infield, you can drive in a couple. Big 2-run single. Phil Hughes an opportunity to pitch with the lead.
Foul back.
Starting to see the winds change here a little bit, Michael. Does that mean bad things?
Well, Jack Curry had some sources when he was down on assignment, as you like to say. Somebody told him that the rain is coming.
Oh. Yeah.
Does that lower the 7.5 rating?
Oh, it lowers it a lot. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Rain delays. No good thing in MLB.
Many people were a little low on the rating anyway. They thought it was overrated.
Yeah. Even when we had blue sky for a while, I was living large. You know, I'm kind of in jeopardy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think dinner plans might be delayed.
I'm well rested today, though. I'm good to go.
No faxing, anything like that?
No, not. The ACT ordeal's over.
The 1-2.
Great dinner last night. Tell me something. Have you ever? You've eaten it. I went to 42. I told you.
Yes, I have
been there.
Nice.
Have you seen? I mean, when they bring out the ice cream and they add liquid nitrogen to it, the cream, and I mean, it's like an experiment. There's just smoke everywhere. The kids loved it. It was
Bunsen
great.
burner, yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
The
Have you had
2-2?
that?
Isn't it bananas Foster? Don't they call it that?
No, this is like an orange thing.
No,
they
I
add
had
the
that.
cream to it. It ends up being like a creamsicle. Remember
Really?
creamsicle?
Love
yeah.
creamsicle.
See? Gives you a reason to go.
I'm going to go now. Here's Kevin Cash. So when the O'Neills go out to eat, how many people are there?
Well, there was a few last night because they got friends. So.
Oh. And you're probably picking up the whole tab. That one's bunted back.
I got friends that are like 12 and 15. What am I going to hand them the bill? Huh? Memories, Michael. Just making memories, right?
That it?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's a great Christmas story.
Sounds like a song. Didn't Bon Jovi have a song like that? Making a memory?
Or Barbara Streisand.
No, that's right. That's more your era, though, right?
Oh, you're so much younger than me.
Yeah, but I didn't watch those movies, Michael. I was watching like baseball highlights or something while you were watching Barbara.
Right, that's exactly it. And the 0-2 to Cash. Just missed inside.
Oh. I'll tell you, Ted Barrett's got a day back there. He's had pitchers turning their heads, batters complaining. Good fastball, looked like right on the inside corner.
If you look at the Yankees starting rotation, all of the starters have at least 6 wins. Now, there's one caveat in there. Javier Vazquez, one of his wins came with that one out that he got against Kevin Youkilis of the Red Sox. But all the starters have 6 wins, and that's significant. The last time the Yankees had 5 pitchers on their staff with 6 wins through 62 games was way back in 1939. Now, if Vazquez had actually gotten that 6th win as a starter, that had never before been done in Yankee history. 5 starters with 6 or more wins at this point. 3-2. Just missed. Just missed. Today, after the postgame, get a weekly recap straight from the skipper on a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. Joe will reflect on this week's series, plus a look ahead to the highly anticipated rematch with the Phillies. And after it's over, another fun-filled episode of Yankees on Deck. It's all today after the postgame, only on Yes.
Well, you saw some close pitches there. I don't know. That's tough. Wow. It's got the plate. There's no doubt about that. It must have been low, but I'd be very fortunate if I was a hitter in that count.
Bourne looks at a strike. Infield single for Bourne in the first, scored the Astros' only run, then lined out sharply to Pena at third. Diving play to the backhand side. Pena was playing it on the grass, as he is now, the 0-1. Here's that ball forward with the side view. See, to get over the knees. Back knee.
It's just that borderline, you know. It's something you want as a hitter or as a pitcher, and you just hold your breath as a hitter.
One. And now Posada wants to talk with Hughes.
Yeah, that's a good break for Jorge. Good to get out there, get him out of that last count, that last walk, let him realize he's still throwing the ball well. Really hasn't had his best breaking ball today, but you know, he's had a good fastball. I didn't see his last outing. I read the line on it in Baltimore. It wasn't his best outing.
No, it wasn't. He didn't have good command at all. And still, he's at that level now where even if his stuff isn't where he wants it to be, his stuff is good enough to get people out. And he battles and doesn't give in. Joe Girardi actually talks about that on the Joe Girardi show that we were mentioning earlier. Ground ball to Teixeira. He boots it. And everybody's safe. So a rare error for Mark Teixeira. And now the Astros have runners on first and second, one out.
See, coming off the bag, don't have much time to react, but no excuse there, and he'll tell you. And you said it, Michael. The ball came up and just hit off the heel of his glove a little bit. Well, like you said, Michael, it doesn't happen very often. You can only be just amazed at the defense he's brought over here the past couple of years.
Here's Cappinger. Pitch outside.
Compare he and Mattingly defensively.
I think Mattingly was a little better.
Yeah.
I just thought that
a little quicker, and also unerring arm, great with bunts. I mean, that era of Mattingly and Hernandez, I mean, New Yorkers saw the greatest first baseman. All those Gold Gloves. Now, a guy who didn't get a lot of love, at least Gold Glove wise, was Tino, and you play behind him. He played great first base. Used to just amaze me that he didn't get all the accolades that everybody else got defensively because he wasn't the quickest guy. He had good hands. He scooped the ball well, but he was smart and he was always thinking. You see Mattingly number out there. It seemed to always be at the right place, and that has a lot to do with getting that extra step that you don't have naturally, is playing people in the proper positions and just knowing how pitchers are going about getting guys out.
Well, there was one year that Tino should have won the Gold Glove, and it was inexplicably given to Rafael Palmeiro, who played, I think, 20 games at first base.
It was a DH.
He was a DH the whole year, and that was a travesty. He didn't get it that year. The 3-0. There's a strike. And the count 3-1 to Cappinger. A little bit of a jam here for Phil Hughes. Not all of it his own making with the error by Teixeira, but he has to pitch out of it. First and second with one out. Yankees up 3-1, top of the fifth. The lights are on here at the stadium. Hughes has thrown 80 pitches. And the 3-1. Grounded softly to Jeter. They get one. That's all they get. Now, Bourne thought that he was in there and went in hard on Cano. Hard but clean. And they had no chance to double him up. I was surprised that Jeter went to get the force. It was going to be that tight.
Ball not hit real hard. Hit off the end of the bat.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is a close play.
I thought he might have been safe from that replay. Let's take another look.
It's funny how when he tells the umpire he's safe, he's off the bag.
He did go off the bag after he argued. So now first and third with two outs, and here is Hunter Pence. I'm going to give the Astros the lead right there. Let's see when.
Safe.
Oh, yeah, he's safe. Bad call by Brian Gorman.
Like I said, Michael, is it ever going to end?
The brilliance of the Yesmo.
you know, the player knows that you can usually feel your foot hit the bag, and that you usually can tell as a base runner. Good pitch. Michael, I told you last inning when I was, you're seeing Jorge's glove move a lot today. Hughes doesn't have his best location. He's been able to get away with it, especially up in the zone. But, you know, these are time right here where he needs to find his pitch and get out of these jams. There's
and he does. Hit the glove that time as Pence down looking. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 men left. The end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. Looking forward to this week. You've been voting at 58-7-7-2, and here are the results. 56% looking forward to the Mets. It's a close race, though. Yeah. A lot of people want to see the World Series rematch.
You said it, Michael. It's just a good week of baseball here in New York.
And making it even better, you're going to be here. It's unbelievable.
Man.
A little lighter sprinkled in.
A little lighter sprinkled in. That's a lot of energy sprinkled in right
I'm a
there.
little afraid. That one is lined. Oh, what a play by Manzella. That ball was tailing away from him, and he stayed with it to haul it in. He's been impressive at shortstop, Paul.
Yeah, he has. He's had some good at-bats this series, too. Again, not a household name, but guys that they're going to have to try to find out a way to win in the next few years here. Might be in the mix. Good reaction.
Here's Granderson.
See that changeup in Muller's glove there. Sometimes as a hitter, you can see them really dig into that glove, and that last pitch is really the first time I've seen it today where got that changeup grip. He's got it again.
Dr. Henry Kissinger is in the house. Former Secretary of State under Richard Nixon. There he is. You're on TV. What's up, Hank? The 1-1. I think he was also Secretary of State under Gerald Ford. Brilliant man. The 2-1. 3-1.
Is he a New Yorker? I mean, does he live in New York?
Yes, he does.
He's not a New Yorker, but he lives in New York.
Yes, he does. Gustavo Chacin, we saw him in the first game. He's warming up. Could not hold up. Anderson works away.
You see Mulder's reaction there. He went to the changeup away, and it's this, he's not going to give in. If he walks you, he walks you. But, if you went down his scouting report on the year, this is by far probably the best he's pitched all year. Just so happens that he's in Yankee Stadium. He's held the Yankees, he's held the Astros in the game. They just haven't been able to break loose with Hughes.
Just issued his 5th walk. And the pitch to Teixeira is a strike. The error that Teixeira made in the top of the the top of the 5th inning was his first of the year. And that leaves only 2 first basemen without an error this season. Kevin Youkilis and Casey Kochman.
You could pick it, though, right, Mike?
I was not bad. I couldn't hit, but I was pretty good first base.
You told me you didn't hit the ball real well.
I kind of have a fear of getting hit.
You want some Gold Gloves, though, in Little League?
Pewter.
Did you ever play in the fields that used to be around the old Yankee Stadium, the little fields there? Did you ever have games there?
Not there. In the South Bronx, we use, it's just sandlot ball and stuff like that. Rocks on the field and all that. The 0-1. Kenny Singleton used to play.
Yeah, I heard that. Right across the street.
Right here.
Oh, here?
This is where McCombs Dam Park was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used to play here. And Rod Carew.
Wow.
One. Right in on the hands, and it's popped up. Cash near the screen, and he'll put it away. Well, let's check out Tuesday's starting pitchers, brought to you by FiOS TV, Internet, and Phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is FiOS. I don't even have to say much. Roy Halladay pitched the perfect game already this year. Lost the next time, 1-0. 8-4, 1.96. CC Sabathia, he's not hit his stride yet. 6-3, 4.01. Our pregame coverage at 6 will start on Yes, and then the game time is at 7 p.m. on My 9.
We're going to take a day off to get ready for that one.
Yeah, you're going to look at all the charts.
Want a caddy for me tomorrow?
That would be fun, but no.
Come on.
You said it's going to be hot?
That's all right.
I don't do hot.
That's good. We're going to Yogi's. Yogi's got a tournament tomorrow.
That's right. It's worth going there for that. So Brad Mills is going to bring in the left-hander, Gustavo Chacin, to face Robinson Cano. So Brian Moeller did not pitch that badly, but he does leave, losing at 3-1.
Coming in to pitch for Cleveland, number 73.
Bottle opener tonight. The first 18,000 fans and Paul O'Neill fans are 21 and older. They'll receive a 27-time World Champions keychain bottle opener courtesy of Budweiser. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. You can visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Well, Brad Mills makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. AT&T Rethink Possible. So Gustavo Chacin will come on and face Robinson Cano. Those are the numbers on Chacin. This will be his 11th game. More than a hit per inning, but those are good numbers. 1.46. I remember Chacin with the Blue Jays, and he also did pitch against the Yankees on Friday night. Moeller actually didn't pitch a bad game, but he is trailing 3-1. The runner at first, his responsibility. And they just want to stop Cano. Last time up, Cano hit a home run to tie the game at 1. So another mistake like that could be even more problems for the Astros.
You know, you've really kind of seen a changing of the guard here. Most pitching changes that, you know, could change the game were against Teixeira, to A-Rod. And all of a sudden you see this happening more and more to Robinson Cano. I mean, that's how much respect he has from the other side now. You pull out a starter who's actually thrown a pretty good game, but you can't let Cano, you know, have another at bat against him, fearing that you might break the game open.
Houston relievers have not been that great this year. A 4.77 combined ERA. They have 5 righties and 3 lefties in the bullpen. Good pitch there.
See, got a big old slider, just continues to run off the outside corner.
Lifetime against the Yankees, Chacin 2-6, 5.21. That's 8 starts and 1 relief appearance.
Granderson over there trying to play head games with him, leaning like he's going.
Now with rain in the forecast, obviously the top of the 5th has been completed. It's an official game. Yankees would like to tack on more runs here. Sky looks very, very foreboding over the stadium. When the lights have been on, yeah, that's not good.
That goes in the weather forecast, yes. Foreboding.
We've got a team of meteorologists studying the radar, and they say it's not good right now. Rain over Jersey, which I think is a Springsteen song off his first album.
Have you heard that Eddie Money's supposed to play around the stadium or in the stadium? Have you heard that?
I've not heard that.
Somebody told me that today. I thought it was strange I hadn't heard that. Like Eddie Money. You like Eddie Money?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. Old Bronx cop, wasn't he?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I like him even more.
See? Hometown guy.
If you got the boogie down in you, you're good. The 2-1 and the count 3-1. And you know that Jay-Z and Eminem will be performing here in September.
In the stadium?
In the stadium,
and then
right
in Detroit
here.
too, right?
A home and home.
A home and a home. You going?
I'll probably be on the road with the Yankees when they're performing.
Well, we saw Jay-Z last year in the World Series. Pretty cool. We're getting your lefty. You're called out of the bullpen to get a tough lefty out. You're 3-1 to Robbie, but you can't really just give in and groove him a fastball because you know what type of hitter he is. A switch hitter on deck with Nick Swisher. You know, you're almost you put yourself in a hole.
Tough lineup, the matchup against Teixeira, switch hitter, Cano, lefty, switch hitter, and another lefty. Swing and a miss.
Pitch went to a slider.
And those switch hitters are the minefield for the managers. That's why they need Chacin to throw pitches like that to Cano.
I'll tell you, Chacin, you see this even in Yesmo, that the amount that ball is breaking, I mean, it doesn't have late movement. It has movement the whole way, and it continues to run off that outside corner. This is that kind of lefty that you almost have to look at the ball at you at being a strike. Very hard to do as a hitter Because anything out over the plate is going to end up off the plate away.
3-2, runner goes, and he walked him. He did not want to come over the plate to Cano, so Cano works a 2-out walk. 6 walk by the Yankees, or for the Yankees. There's nobody standing around. I don't see anybody throwing in the Astro bullpen right now.
Just hanging out with him.
Nick Swisher, yeah, there's just hanging out going on. There's no throwing. Nick Swisher is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts looking. He didn't agree with either call. First and second with 2 outs. Yankees are leading 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Along with Paul O'Neill and Jack Curry, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. Yankees lead 3-1, threatening for more in the bottom of the 5th. Here's your picture dropping out of the scoreboard.
Look at that handsome fella, Michael Kay on top there.
1-0. That one gets away from Cash, but he recovers. These spots, good spots for Swisher. 11 for 24 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. It's 4:58.
These are the type of pitches as a manager that drive you crazy because, you know, you saw him throw some really, really good sliders to Cano, and Cano was not even close to hitting them. But they dig themselves holes, and you see he was 3-1 to Cano. Now he's 2-0 to Swisher. So to use their good pitches, you got to pitch ahead. He's continually behind.
The 2-0. 3-0. Now, of late, they've been turning Swisher loose on 3-0. Baltimore, he picked up a base hit on a 3-0 pitch. And he takes 3 walks have loaded the bases for Jorge Posada. Posada had a grand slam yesterday. And Brad Mills looks like he's going to make another pitching change, and he does signal for a right-hander. So he's going to turn Posada around to the shorter part of the ballpark. Grand slam yesterday. There's another opportunity today.
Go up, have a good at bat. Don't look to drive it out of the ballpark. Just look to hit it hard somewhere.
Casey Daigle will make his 5th appearance this year. And he is going to, as I mentioned, turn around Posada. He has walked twice. Posada with his 8th grand slam yesterday. He had not had a grand slam in 6 years. So can he have him in back-to-back days and blow this baby open? 3-1 Yankees lead. Granderson at 3rd. Cano at 2nd. Swisher at 1st. Count 1-0.
See Jorge tell Ted Bear, check that ball, and that's another thing that's new in baseball. In the old days, they'd just throw it back. And anytime there's a scuff on that baseball from hitting the dirt, can make that thing do funny things.
Count 2-0. This Yankee team is not going to help pitchers out that won't throw strikes. They're not going to expand the zone. And that's why the bases are loaded right now. 3 walks. And now they count 2-0 on Posada.
It's Georgie right there thinking, you know, do I take here or do I go for it? And you have to be 100% committed as a hitter right here. Do you let him try to make him throw strikes, or do you try to take him deep right here?
That one is drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A grand slam. Back-to-back grand slams. One yesterday, one today. And the Yankees lead 7-1. I guess he decided to swing on 2-0.
He took the right turn and went to going deep, and that's it. I mean, you have to be committed to it. You either say, you know, I'm going to make this guy throw me a strike, or I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to look for a pitch that I'm going to try to drive out of the ballpark, and he got one. A fastball right down the middle of the plate. Second grand slam. You see a curtain call. Second grand slam in 2 days. And, you know, the funny thing is 3 days ago, or a couple days ago even, Jorge Posada, frustrated at the plate, would never see this happening, but this game can change so quick. All of a sudden, a couple good at-bats, back-to-back days with grand slams. You see that, no doubter. Ball running away.
Well, before the grand slam yesterday, Paul, he was 2 for 24.
You see that, what a great feeling. You know, you were saying he hadn't hit one in 6 years till yesterday. I was thinking, you know, I haven't hit one in 10 years, but I still remember how fun it was. Jorge going through a little hot spot of 2 days, back-to-back grand slams.
And now he feels complete. He's swinging the bat better, and he's behind the plate again. And that home run passes him, or passes Greg Nettles on the Yankees all-time list. Next stop, Bernie Williams. So 7th place in the Yankees home run list. The one thing I didn't understand, Paul, I mentioned it when he made the move, why would you bring in the righty to turn around to the shorter part of the park? If you're going to hit a grand slam right-handed, it's going to have to be a bigger blast.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, I don't think he wanted to go to the bullpen, but Chacin just could not throw strikes. You know, you had to make a move at some point, but you do have a lot of lefties out there, I agree. But, you know, you're in a position here as an Astros manager that you're trying to figure out the base hit by Gardner. You're trying to figure out who you can trust in a big situation if you are in games, and you're trying to test out guys where they are. You know, this was not his job coming from the Boston Red Sox, you know, where you're expected to win and compete every year, and then you come to an organization you're kind of on the downslide, and then it just completely different. It's a U-turn as a bench coach or a manager, either way.
Here's Chad Huffman, 1 for 1 with a walk. The one, his first big league hit in his first at bat. And a strike. Posada was 4 for 30 with 1 ribby since returning from the DL before yesterday. Now he's 3 for his last 4 with 8 RBIs.
Talking about that pitch, it was just a little two-seamer. Not a lot of movement, just ran right to my barrel. A backup slider there.
Runner goes, pitch is high, throw to second, not nearly in time.
Again, you see this ball and it just runs away enough to get right to the barrel of Jorge Posada, and he's looking at 2-0, bases loaded. He's looking for something out over the plate that he doesn't. He's not going to look for something to fight off the left field, but just absolutely put this game out of reach. He got his pitch. Grand slam. How do you like saying that, Michael?
Nice.
Huh?
Must be nicer to hit it, though.
Kind of the ultimate as a hitter, no doubt about it. Makes for a good Sunday night with the family. You have a big game.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Huffman's day continues. He's going to reach first base. Mom likes that too. So he's been on base all 3 times. Got some good mojo. Strike out and still reach first.
He just wants to run, you see. Doesn't matter how. See that ball down on the way, a slider.
Decent speed. Royce and Debbie, mom and dad.
Parents can cheer on anything. You strike out, you still get cheers, right?
Here's Ramiro Pena. It'll be forgotten, but he had a big base hit in the 4th inning. Broke a 1-1 tie. Bases loaded single, driving 2. Count 2-0. Getting ready for the oncoming rain.
That's not good.
Unless it's already here.
I think she just likes the poncho. That's right. I think she likes the pink poncho, Michael.
I know you were wondering this, Paul. The last Yankee to hit back-to-back grand slams.
Actually was.
Have to go all the way back to old number 8. Not Yogi Berra, the first number 8. Bill Dickey, August 3rd and 4th of 1937. So another Yankee catcher did it all the way back in 37. There was a strike.
Must be a catcher thing, huh?
I guess. The only number retired twice. I see some rain falling past the 8s.
It's light rain, though.
And there's a walk. Walks are killing the Astros this inning. Yankees entered today leading the American League in walks. Now, of the 7 runs scored by the Yankees, 5 of the players who scored were walked. The other 2 scored on home runs. So here's Jeter. Now, he started this out innocently enough by lining out sharply to Manzella. Now, he wants to avoid making 2 outs in an inning. He has the bases loaded. Jeter today is 1 for 3.
7 walks between the 4th and 5th innings alone. I just got to know. That's hard to manage around it, right?
Yeah, you would think. These guys just don't throw strikes. And you always wonder, are they not able to throw strikes, or do they not trust their stuff and won't throw strikes?
Yeah, they're trying to trick guys. I mean, they're pitching to names. They're pitching to Derek Jeter, and they're pitching to Teixeira, and guys that they know have big careers, and so you get a little hesitant, and you don't believe that your stuff's good enough. You think that you're going to get them to swing out of the zone like a lot of other hitters. Well, these guys have been successful in their careers for a long time for a reason. I mean, they know how to set up pitchers and battle pitchers and hit mistakes.
346 with the bases loaded, 1 grand slam. Popped up. Cash will make the play in foul territory for the final out. But the Yankees score 4 runs. 1 swing of the bat by that man. 2 grand slams, back-to-back days. He goes yard, this time from the left side. Same spot as when he hit it from the right. Yankees lead this one 7-1. Let's check out the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Carlos Lee.
Well, no cheapies. You see his build. You saw it yesterday. I mean, when he hits him, he hits him. He can hit a long way. June surge, 5 of his 10 home runs on the year have been in June. 13 RBIs in June. And can he be moved? Talking about trading him possibly to a contender. I don't know. Huge contract. These kind of contracts are hard to move.
I got a trivia note about Carlos Lee that you'll like, because we just saw Posada with grand slams on successive days. Carlos Lee is the only major league player to hit 3 grand slams in extra innings in history.
On the grand slam note, Fernando Tatis still blows me away.
2 in 1 inning?
2 grand slams in 1 inning.
Now, I know how you used to beat yourself up. If you had 4 hits and the last time up you struck out, it would be a bad Paul that would walk in the Neville. All right, so if you had 2 grand slams in 1 inning, and the other 4 times you came up in the game you struck out, would you be happy?
Now, but I look back, I think, man, that'd be a pretty good day. But I can't answer that question because I never did it.
Well, you know yourself. Would you be upset or happy?
It depends how if you were in the last at bat and made it out. If you just gave it away because you were so happy that you hit a couple of grand slams, then you'd be a little chapped.
Carlos Lee with a single. You can see the rain falling here at the stadium. The radar never lies. Nice steady rain as a lot of the fans moving for cover. Well, Strasburg today He went 5 1/3 innings. He's done right now. 2 hits, 1 run. He walked 5 today against the Indians, struck out 8, so 22 strikeouts in his 2 starts. And, you know, we were watching between innings. He was having a lot of trouble with the mound at Progressive Field. He kept slipping, and the grounds crew had to keep coming out and put new dirt around his landing spot. But certainly not as impressive as he was against the Pirates. But he's going to go 2-0, and isn't that the bottom line? Washington's up 6-1, top of the 7th, the 0-1. Bob Lorenz will have all the details and the highlights on the post-game show, so stick around for that.
I was kind of anxious to see how he would go out on the second outing. I mean, there's so much hype in his first outing, and I mean, how much do you recover? It's not like he, you know, every pitch he was probably putting everything he had into it in his major league debut. So, you know, to come out and hold a team to 1 run, still pretty good outing.
Swing and a miss. So Sullivan goes down on strikes.
You saw her win the gold glove, or the gold on the slopes of Vancouver. Now Olympic medalist Lindsey Vonn sits down for a new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay. Lindsey discusses her own life on and off the hill, plus what's in store for her career. Center Stage. Lindsey Vonn premieres Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Only on Yes.
Very cool. She was cool.
Yeah. Well, let me sit in on one of those. Let me do one of your shows.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Why don't you? How about you interview me?
That'd be nice.
That would be good. You got an hour of questions in you? You're not that curious about me. High fly ball to right.
Though.
Pedro Feliz is retired by Huffman.
I don't need 4 or 5 questions. That's an hour. Huh? If I get long responses, right?
You tell me how you want me to roll.
Yeah.
We got Andy Pettit coming up. You want to do that one? You know all about Andy.
I got some good questions. I'm just thinking of my questions for you, though. Back from your young Fordham days and this, I got it all.
All right. Here's Jeff Blum. Count 1-0. Tough to hit with the raindrops coming off the bill.
Yeah, it's you know, the bill of your cap. You see right here, you'll start to get raindrops. It'll start coming down, and sometimes they can get in your vision. But you know, this isn't bad. But if it starts raining hard, where you start losing the grip on the bat, it's an annoyance, is what it is.
There's Danny Cunningham, Yankees great grounds crew head.
He's going to get on the horn right there. Did you see that? Going to get the latest.
I think he's just camera shy. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. The 2-0 to Blum. There's a strike. He's consistent with his 93. He's 93 the first pitch. 96 pitch was 93. He doesn't lose velocity as the game wears on. Now, occasionally he could jack it up a little bit, reach back for more, but he really doesn't need to.
He's really pitched with his fastball today. He hasn't thrown that good curveball. And that just shows you. I mean, he's maturing as a pitcher right in front of your eyes in a year. Just able to win with certain pitches on certain days, knowing what's good, knowing what he doesn't have that day. All of a sudden you look, he's 97 pitches, so he has kind of labored through it.
The 2-2. So Blum battling him.
Danny getting nervous over there.
They do some job on this field. They really work hard. Any time of the day you get here, they're working on the field. Looper into right field. Coming on. Granderson, he can't make the play. Ball trickles away from him. They're going to hold up Lee at third. So Blum gets himself a double. Nobody in the Yankee bullpen right now with a pitch count approaching 100. You see Granderson's attempt just missed. Let's take a look at that double, the IOTB HD Super Shot, Paul.
Well, he laid out for it. Obviously just couldn't get his glove under the ball to keep it in there. See Huffman taking that route to back up. 2 outs. Good opportunity to try to get your pitcher out of the inning. Got it in quick enough where you held Lee at third.
The 100th pitch is a fastball up and in to Tommy Manzella. Hughes has thrown at least 100 pitches in 11 of his 12 starts. And the only time he didn't, well, that was 99 pitches. 65 strikes, 35 balls today. Count 2-0. Marte beginning to throw in the Yankee bullpen.
I'd love to see Phil Hughes, if you're Joe Girardi, just end this outing with getting out of your own jam here.
The 2-0. There's a strike. Phil Hughes looking to go 9-1. Guy who had a battle to win a spot in spring training in the rotation. Not a spot on the team because he would have been in the bullpen.
It's the middle of June, though. I mean, you're figuring another month. You take 4 or 5 starts before the All-Star break, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Big crowd here at the stadium again. 46,832.
Some of them taking cover at this point. We started out with a decent day and a big crowd. Now some of them are hiding.
Two. That's the cool thing about this park, Paul. I don't know how much you've walked around, but if it's raining, there's so much room in the concourses, and you can see the game from the concourses. A lot of places to go. That's exactly what's happening there.
Good press box, too. Nice and dry.
Perfect. Get close to the food. The 2-2. So Hughes having a hard time getting this final out. Blum battled him, and now Manzella the same. All right, we got to. Sometimes you have to readjust, Paul. You graded the weather of 7.5 at the beginning. What is it right now?
Well, it's well below 5 at this point. Obviously, it's ugly. And you know what?
And that's even
this
ugly.
Is a 1 right there, because that's bad news. When you start seeing yellow and orange and stuff like that, that's not good.
Now the count full of 3 and 2 runners on second and third with 2 outs. Yankees leading 7-1. Kevin Cash is on deck. Lance Berkman lurks in the dugout. They could send him to pinch hit, although he has been struggling mightily. Three-2.
Went to the cutter there and still just trying to do everything you can to get out of this inning. Must not feel comfortable with that curveball today. He's thrown a ton of fastballs. He went to the cutter there to try to change it up a little bit.
Cano Park has joined Marte. The 3-2. And he continues to work Hughes. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat for Manzella against Hughes. Grounded and off the glove of Jeter, and that will allow 2 runs to score. So Manzella wins that battle, a 2-run single. And now the Yankee lead is 7-3.
We talk about a battle, obviously 10 pitches. He had struck out his 2 previous at bats, so doing everything he can to try to put the ball in play. Grounded just in the hole off the glove of G. That ball came up on G a little bit. Disappointing. Phil Hughes get a ground ball as a pitcher. You expect it to be right at somebody. Every once in a while they find a hole.
So here's Kevin Cash, runner on first base with 2 outs. Yankees lead is 7-3. This will probably be the last batter he faces. And there's that breaking ball for a strike.
Use it early in the count in case you need it late, but you know he's been using his fastball so effectively all day that he really hasn't had to find it. Until now, he's having trouble getting out of the 6th inning.
That one is drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A 2-run home run by Kevin Cash. And just like that, the Astros are back in this game. Yankee lead is 7-5. Quite a turn here in the 6th inning, Paul, with 2 outs.
You can see Chan Clark.
Well, Joe Girardi is going to go to the bullpen. So Phil Hughes goes 5 2/3, and he will leave up 7-5. A single by Manzella, a 2-run home run by Cash, and 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He threw 110 pitches, and that matches his season high with 5 runs allowed. He still has an opportunity to pick up his 9th win, though, as the Yankees will bring in Damaso Marte to face Michael Bourne. Marte, 22 games, and you can see he's a specialist. 22 games, just 11 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 walks, and 8 strikeouts, a 3.18 ERA. So the Yankees are going to have to get 10 outs out of their bullpen today. Tomorrow's a day off, so no concern, really. Bourne against Hughes was 1 for 3 with a stolen base and a run scored. Thinks bunt, but takes a strike. The 0-1. Marte has been the shutdown lefty the Yankees need in the bullpen. His last 8 appearances have been scoreless appearances. Now, that doesn't always tell the story. They bring him in situations where there are people on base, but he's been effective. The 1-1. 2-1.
Well, I've got to like this for you here, Mike. I just looked at the board on the monitor, and I don't know if you remember. So a fake friend, I played with a guy in Cincinnati named Bip Roberts. Remember Bip Roberts?
Yeah.
The same kind of player, too. Bip was a switch hitter, though. A lot of speed.
Trying to get a good landing spot on that mound. Getting a little wet because the inning's been so long and the rain continuing to fall, though it's lessening just a bit. I'm sure the grounds crew will take care of things once the inning is over. The 2-2. Strike 3, born down looking. So Marte comes on and does his job. But 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors and nobody left. We played 5.5, 7-5 Yanks. As he welcomes 2 baseball insiders to discuss the state of New York baseball, plus the electric debut of Steven Strasburg. It's a new off-the-wall podcast, only at YesNetwork.com. Now, I know Chris Sheeran, and he is off the wall, so you should check that out. That's Milo Hamilton. This is the 58th ballpark that he has broadcasted a game in. And he's 83 years old, 26 seasons as the voice of the Astros on the radio. And he says he loves the place.
Hall of Fame broadcast.
Yeah, yep. So Milo's 58th stadium and that little guy's first Yankee game. The circle of life. So the grounds crew getting the infield into better playing shape. Looks like they're doing most of their work on the third base side. New pitcher is Wesley Wright.
It's like a bee colony out there, doesn't it? The guys are running all over the place.
So Wright will make his 4th appearance. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And the rain continues to fall now. Obviously, they think this is as heavy as it's going to get because it's pretty heavy right now. They're electing to play through, and that means they're committed to playing through weather like this, even if it lasts for 3 hours. Well, right now we'll face Granderson, Teixeira, and Cano. Lefty, switch hitter, and lefty. That's why Mills goes to the left-hander. There's one more lefty in the bullpen. That's Tim Burdack. He's already used Gustavo Chacin. So the Yankee lead 7-1 at one point, now 7-5. And the pitch outside, 2-0.
Seems like that strike zone's moving a little bit for the Astro pitchers today. Been behind all day. That's probably why they got a 7 looking at them at the scoreboard.
The 2-0. Looped into center field. Coming on Bourne, and he got a good jump to make the play for the first out. Yesterday, Wright pitched. He threw a 1-2-3 inning on 13 pitches.
We got this ball in on Granderson, jammed him, and we talked about Bourne's speed. Makes up for a lot right there at the end. Makes it look easy. Boy, that's a loose glove right there.
And the pitch to Teixeira is inside, 1-0. Mark is 0 for 3 today. Fly ball to center, pop to first, and a pop to the catcher. That one is drilled deep to left field. Going back, Sullivan. Track, wall, leach, and it's off the wall. Teixeira is going to stop at second with a double. Missed a home run by just a bit. He can't believe it didn't go out.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. As a hitter, you're happy. Don't get me wrong that you hit the ball and you got to hit. You hit a ball like this, you expect it to go out. All of a sudden, it's raining a little bit. Ball doesn't quite make it. Almost got caught, though.
I think he misjudged it.
Yeah, that ball could have been caught. Oh, yeah.
So Teixeira, his first base hit of the day, and that's going to bring up Cano, who was 1 for 2 with a walk. Count 1-0. Cano got the Yankees on the board with a home run in the 4th inning. Tied the game at 1. Yankees scored 2 more runs later that inning on a bases-loaded single by Pena. And then in the 5th inning, a grand slam by Posada, his 2nd in as many days. Slow roller, left side. Feliz can't handle it, and Cano will reach. Remember, the ball gets wet, a couple of revolutions through the grass, and it's hard to hold on to.
Comes up right off his heel, and again, it just... You're right, Michael. As the ball does get wet, it makes it a little tougher to move, a little tougher to grab the ball.
That'll be an E5 on Pedro Feliz. Yankees have runners on first and second. And here is Swisher. Swisher struck out twice and walked and scored. Count 1-0. And the pitch. Rounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Teixeira rounds third. Bourne's throwing home. And not in time. An RBI single for Swisher. And the Yankees lead 8-5 as Cano moves to third. Swisher has now driven in a run in 4 straight games.
See, he just waits to see it. He really sits back and just calm, drives it right up the middle. And in the scoring position, took that right out of Cervelli's book. That's what he likes to do with men on second base. See Bourne, you talk about a kind of a slow grip. You see that ball fly a little high out of his hand.
That's going to bring up Posada, who's had a perfect day. Brad Mills and Brad Arnsberg have not had a perfect day. Posada is 1 for 1, 2 walks, 2 runs scored, a grand slam. And look what he's done in the series against the Astros. 4 for 7, 2 homers and 8 ribbies. This is his first game behind the plate since May 16th. Pitch inside. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees up 8-5, looking for a sweep of the Astros. And the Astros will take out the tarp in the bullpen, and Open up another can of relievers. Count 2-0.
You see Jorge at the plate. I mean, it's night and day what he looked like a couple days ago when he was, had it all going on too fast in his head, trying to force at bats, force hits. Now everything looks relaxed. He's seeing the ball. It's amazing what a couple grand slams will do for you, Mike.
Posada's having some trouble with the rain, and he's going to wipe the bill of his hat so it doesn't drip down in front of his eyes.
That's another thing. Jorge doesn't wear batting gloves, too. So it's one thing where batting gloves can get you a better grip on there. See how he's taped that bat to kind of keep some of the pine tar there.
Now, how much did the Yankees miss Posada behind the plate? Well, Yankee catchers batted only .202 with no home runs and 13 ribbies in 25 games since Posada last started behind the plate on May 16th against the Twins. Wilton Lopez is getting ready. Swing and a miss. Now, last year, the Yankees played 24 straight games without Posada behind the plate from May 2nd through the 27th, and their catchers combined for .280 batting average with 1 home run and 10 runs batted in. I think a lot of Yankee fans might take Posada for granted because he's been part of the furniture for so long, but he's an important member of all the championships. He's one of the leaders on the team in the clubhouse. Gets big hits, switch hitter.
It's one of those guys that has a lot of intensity, a lot of just fire. I mean, Jeet makes everything look real easy. Teixeira goes about his business. A-Rod goes about his business. Mariano is so cool, calm, and collected. But Jorge has some energy to him, some fire to him, and I think that is part of him being in this lineup.
And the 3-2. Grounded foul outside of third.
You look at the scoreboard. Tampa Bay losing again today, Michael. The Yankees have an opportunity to tie back up that first place position.
And they had trailed by as many as 6 games in late May, so they've made up a lot of ground in a hurry. It would have been very tough for Tampa Bay to keep up the pace that they set early because they would have been breaking records, all-time records. So you knew they had to come down to earth a bit. Still having a great season, but things are set up for the Yankees to move into a first-place tie. Right now, Tampa Bay is losing 5-1 to the Marlins. That's at the bottom of the 6th inning at the Trop.
Boston losing to Philly today, so it's they're down 4-1. So every time you can throw up a win and you see the teams that you're going to competing against lose, then it's kind of picking up on everybody.
Toronto's also losing 4-0 to Colorado, top of the 2nd. So everybody in the East. And if you're really worried about the Orioles making a late run, the Mets are leading the Orioles 10-3. And the Mets have not won a series on the road all year, and they're poised to sweep Baltimore, top of the 7th inning, 10-3.
What are you saying in your players' meetings here when you're down 23 in mid-June, huh?
Go out, play hard.
Turn it around, see if we can get back in this thing.
Tough.
Come on.
Tampa Bay began the season 32-12. They're 8-10 since, not counting today. 3-2, and Posada really working right.
My weather report nosedive, Michael, but it's kind of making a U-turn here. It's getting a little brighter.
It's still raining, Paul.
No, it's misting at this point.
Are you giving it a higher than a 5? Is that what you're saying?
That's a bad camera angle there, man.
That's a little better for you?
That's tape delayed from earlier. That one doesn't lie, I guess.
3-2. Swing and a miss. So Wright wins that battle. And there's 2 away. Paul did something just now that he never did as a player. He forgot how many outs there were.
I did it as a
you
player,
took off the
too.
headset.
I was ready to go. I was heading for cover, looking for the radar.
Here's Brett Gardner. Gardner is 1 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, a stolen base. Back in the lineup, battling that sore left thumb. Heavily taped. If you joined us late, Marcus Timms had to go on the DL with a hamstring injury. He's called up Chad Huffman, who has had an infield hit, his first big league at bat, a walk, and then reached base after he struck out on a wild pitch. The 1-0. Line drive, base hit, down the right field line. Scoring easily is Cano. Swisher will go to third. Gardner stops at first, and the Yankees now lead 9-5.
I said a big test is going to be how Gardner swings a bat against lefties. You got to be a little bit quicker. See that ball in the inner half, throws the head out there, laces one to right field. Good sign. That actually come out of his hand.
Well, Brad Mill's going to give it another shot. Going to go to the bullpen, bring in somebody else. Okay, Paul, you can take off your headset now. We'll be back, though, so keep it right near you. And the grounds crew trying to get this infield in a little bit better playing shape. Now, the way these new stadiums are built, the grass part of the field can absorb a lot of moisture. But dirt is dirt. You know, you mix dirt with water, it's going to be mud no matter how you build the stadium. Wilton Lopez will give it a shot out of the Astros bullpen. He's going to face Chad Huffman.
Well, they throw the diamond dry out there and try to mix with it to soak up some of the water. It looks like kitty litter, and they mix it up there to try to make it a little better. The big thing is it can be wet on top, but it's underneath. If it gets soft and muddy underneath, you get in trouble. But as long as you have a base that your spikes can dig into, you're okay.
Well, there's Chad Huffman's buddies and his dad and mom are back. They've already bought their Yankee ponchos. Let's take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, which is brought to you by McDonald's. And Chad Huffman picked up his first big league hit, an infield single short in the third. A lot of hits up and down the lineup. The only guy that's not in the party, as Ken Singleton would say, Curtis Granderson, but he has walked and scored a run. And the big blow, the home run, the grand slam by Jorge Posada.
How come you don't say and I'm loving it like you used to at the McDonald's thing?
It's not in the copy. I give them what they want.
I thought that was out of style or something.
No. You know how I feel about Mickey D's. I'm loving it. And the 0-1. 1-1.
You said yesterday, Michael, that Houston carries 8 guys in their bullpen.
8 guys. 3 lefties, 5 righties.
I'm going to file them all in here today just to see how it goes.
Hoffman lofts one down the right field line out of play.
Huffman got that first hit out of the way, but I think in his mind he still wants to, it was kind of a chopper infield hit. He'd still love to just drive a line drive out into the outfield. Opportunity to get his first RBI here.
Grounded to third. Feliz backhands and fires to first, and they get Huffman for the final out. But the Yankees scored 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 big error. 2 men left. Well, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we are asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Jorge Posada, number 2, Ramiro Pena, number 3, Brett Gardner, and number 4, Robinson Cano. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
Hard to vote against the Grand Slam, isn't it?
It's hard. It's going to be tough. On the Verizon Wireless scoreboard, Yankees got back 2 of those runs that Hughes had given up in the 6th inning, so they lead 9-5. Damaso Marte came in to get the final out of the 6th, and now Chan-Ho Park will pitch here in the 7th. Chan-Ho has pitched much better of late. His high ERA was from his ineffectiveness early. Yankees just want him to get the velocity back on the fastball that he had last year. And he deals to Keppinger there to strike. Obviously familiar with the Astros. He pitched with the Phillies last season. Two, 3, and 4 in the order. That one is chopped toward first. Teixeira will take it himself. And there's one away. Let's take a look at the Astros in-game box score, brought to you by McDonald's. 7 hits for the Astros, 1 from Michael Bourne. Carlos Lee with an RBI and a run scored. Corey Sullivan had a hit. So did Jeff Blum with a double. 2 ribbies for Tommy Manzella. And then Kevin Cash has had a good day. 2 for 2. A home run and 2 runs batted in. Here's Hunter Pence, 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. In his last 4 appearances, Cano Park, 6 innings, 4 hits, a run, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. And that's more what the Yankees are looking for from him.
You look at Hunter Pence, and he's 261, 10 home runs, good power numbers, but you know the way he goes about his at bats, you would think that he'd hit a little higher than that. I mean, he battles, he goes 9, 10 pitch, 12 at bats, or 12 pitch at bats. So he's a guy that is in there day in and day out trying to, he's got a lot of energy. You think a guy like this would turn around to be a 280, 300 hitter. One of those old school guys, got the socks up high, choking up on the bat.
Now, what does choking up do? I mean, just because you better back control, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the feel of your hitter as a hitter. He's probably done it since he's been in Little League. It looks like a kid maybe that grew late and just got used to hitting that way. A lot of guys will put tape on the handle, that makes it.
The knob?
When they move that much, it's hard for me to draw pictures. Quit moving your hands, Hunter.
They moved him right through that pitch for a strikeout. So Pence now 0 for 3 with a walk.
Let's see Chenho Park with a breaking ball there.
It's
you
nice
see
and
that?
still
A
for
lot
you.
of guys will tape right in here, what makes it easier to choke up. But he's just flat up on the knob. Probably uses maybe a 34, 35-inch bat. Makes it into like a 32, but it doesn't affect the barrel that way. You still, you have a solid bat to hit with.
Pitch outside. 1-0. Lee with a sac fly in the first, popped to second, and then singled to left and scored. Phil Hughes poised to pick up his 9th victory of the season against 1 loss if the Yankee bullpen could do its job. That one is driven to left field. Going back, Gardner, still back. And he makes the play. Took an extra base hit away from Carlos Lee. A 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for Cano Park. But an outstanding play by Brett Gardner to haul that in. As the Astros go down in order. Take a look from the outfield. Gardner measures, leaps, and the ball settles into the webbing for the final out. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, Yankees are leading this one 9-5, but will stay right here. of the 7th here at a rainy stadium. It's raining for about 40 minutes. And the grounds crew doing its level best to try to keep the infield in playing shape. With interleague play, that's always a problem, Paul, because a team comes in once and you can't think about rainouts, anything like that, because it becomes very tough to make those games up later on in the year. So obviously right now they want to just get this game in. It's an official game anyway, but they want to give the Astros a fair chance to get back in it. But what a play by Brett Gardner to end the top of the inning, Paul.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, right before that, you saw, to be a great outfielder, sometimes you have to take your eye off the ball. And as he was going back, he took his eye off the ball, checked the wall, found out, there he is, right there, found out, knows he has enough room to get up. And if you coast back to get that ball, sometimes that wall gets in your mind, and you'll take your eye off of it. Good play by Gardner. It helps to be fast, too, you know, Mike?
I wouldn't know.
I was going to say, your Little League days, you probably speedster. Yesmo makes it looks a little slower, but Brett Gardner does have wheels.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. A lot of fans braving the drizzling rain.
Braving the elements. We got Ryan over here has got a hooded sweatshirt on.
I don't understand that. That's unbelievable. I mean, it's raining, but it's
like
not
my
cold.
wife. I walk in the room and it's like 90, and she tells me it's
Ryan,
freezing.
Look at you. You got to get a sweatshirt on.
Here, bundle up, bro.
Get an advanced tip on a cold front or what? Yeah. Now he looks like Eminem. The 0-1 is inside. 1-1 from Wilton Lopez. Verizon Wireless scoreboard 9-5. Yankees lead as Pena fouls it back.
These are the guys you really root for, Michael Pena. I mean, he comes in, he doesn't get to play a lot. All of a sudden, you know, he get a couple starts, and he comes through, and you said it's probably forgotten by now, but he came through with a big 2-run single early in the game. And, you know, just doesn't complain, works hard in pregame stuff, and does the most he can with his opportunities. Doesn't complain about not being in there all the time. And, you know, if you have good bench players, guys that aren't, you know, complaining and stuff like that, it can make the game and the days go a lot easier as a team.
You know, it's weird because the Yankee championship teams have been built in different ways. The teams that you were on, those 4 titleists, what they did, they had great players on the bench that you were used to playing all the time. A Tim Raines, a Chili Davis, a Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were stars when they played every day, but they were toward the end of their career and accepted that role. Now they have younger players that have never played every day, and they're accepting the role. You don't need a guy that thinks he should be playing all the time.
No, it can actually hurt because you got guys over there that feel they deserve to be out there. Savelli is another one that, you know, he waited for a chance. Jorge went down, he made the most of it, but now that Posada's back in the starting role, you know, he's going to be the backup catcher. And like I said, if you've got guys on the bench thinking they should be out there, you know, you get ill feelings, and it just you know, it's a long season, and you don't want to have people, you know, hoping that other people don't do well so they get their opportunities.
If you think back at those 96 and 98 teams, I mean, those are exceptional players that came off the bench. And then the guys that were really role players like Homer Bush and Clay Bellinger, they all, I mean, it was a perfect mix of players. Grounded to first. Blum will take it himself, and Jeter is retired for the second half.
And you look at that, and you look at Clay Bellinger, and he's a guy that, he's one of those personality guys. He just fit perfect on the team. He got along with the coaches, the players. You know, you didn't really need him to do anything, but he would do anything for you. Homer Bush had one job, and that was to go in and score a winning run when you needed some wheels. And he was like the good luck charm. If he ever had an opportunity late in the game, they'd put him in the pinch run. It was like he'd score the run, so it almost became a joke. And it made him feel important that, you know, just, you know, scoring a run once a week, but it was a big run, help you win. It made them feel like they were big parts of a winning team.
Darryl Strawberry, we mentioned, he had 24 home runs, Paul, as a bench player in '98.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, when you think of probably the top 5 guys to run out and watch take batting practice, Straw was one of them. I mean, he used to just launch balls that even the everyday players would just sit kind of in awe. McGuire was one. Canseco was one. I imagine Pujols this day and age is one.
That one is driven deep to center field. Bourne back, still back, and he retires Granderson for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We played 7 here at the stadium. The O'Neill fans are out in force. 9-5, Yankees lead. To this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Visit Yankees.com and cast your ballot now for your 2010 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at Yankees.com.
All right, Michael, I'm going to put you on the spot right here. Nobody gets voted by the fans. Who would you vote for on the Yankees right now to be on the All-Star team? Obviously, Robinson Cano's got to be on your list.
Cano?
Yeah.
Jabba Chamberlain comes in. Jeter.
You'd vote Jeter in?
Yeah, I think he's having the best.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's having the best season of a shortstop. 39 RBIs, on pace for 100. I don't know what Longoria's numbers are, but I think Alex would be on the team. I'm not sure about starting. I have to see what Longoria's numbers are. I haven't looked at them of late. But I don't think Teixeira should be a starter with and I think he'd agree with it with the numbers that he's put up.
Posada's injuries.
Right, take him out of the mix. And then, you got Pettit and you got Phil Hughes that'll both be on the staff, and Mariano. Yep.
So, I mean, a lot of people say, because of the fan votes, the Yankees get so many more opportunities. But, I mean, there's guys having great years. So, most of them are going to be very deserving.
Corey Sullivan with a single to right field off Jabba Chamberlain. Longoria 324, 11 home runs, and 48 runs batted in. So that's been updated through the game today. And Alex is about 290 with 8 home runs. So it'll be close. I mean, I guess I'd be biased because I like Alex and get along with him. I don't know really Evan, so I guess I can vote on feeling. I'd vote for Alex. That should curry favor with Alex. He's probably listening right now.
Is that why you said that?
No. I think it would mean a lot to Alex to go to that All-Star game because he loves hitting in that ballpark. It's in Anaheim, Angel Stadium. We'll see how it turns out.
I mean, we've talked about this. It should mean something to everybody. Everybody that grew up a baseball fan. I remember being a kid in the summer. I couldn't wait for the All-Star game. You'd run home in the afternoon and see players. And obviously, this was times where every game wasn't on TV, so you didn't get to see a lot of these guys play on TV. And the All-Star game is a huge thing. And kids that grew up in that generation and became Major League players never forget that.
I mean, there are some guys that come out and they'll say, gee, I'd rather have the time off and time with my family. But I think once they're there, they realize how special it is when you're the best of the best, because the players that make the big leagues, there's just 700 of them. They're the best at that job, and then to be the best of the best is pretty special. In the times you went to the All-Star game, was there ever an in-awe moment? You went 5 times. Were you ever in awe of meeting somebody?
You know, the first time I went was with the Reds in the National League, and I guess there was a bit of awe because I saw all the American League players. It was before Interleague, and it was the first time you saw a lot of those guys in person. And so, you know, I have that memory.
Popped up by Felice, and Granderson puts it away.
And then I also have a memory of the first time I started one, which was in Cleveland, which was an honor also. So those are probably the 2 memories that come. But the one thing you do remember is, you know, right when you get there, how comfortable some of the people are that have been there time and time again, and how, you know, you're kind of starstruck if it's your first or second time. And you go through a signing of all the baseballs and all those things. But once the game starts, you know, the lights are bright, the fans are out. It's a neat experience. No
Who
doubt
was the
about
most comfortable of the All-Star amongst the All-Stars? That's it. You know, you just said, "Wow, that guy thinks he belongs."
I mean, when I look back at the first time that I went, National League wise, you know, there was Tony Gwynn, and then, like I said, looking at the American League players, you looked over there was Cal Ripken and Clemens and. You know, Andre Dawson was on our team, so those guys just were regulars, and they got used to doing that. It was like a scheduled game to them. There was no ifs, ands, or buts if they were going to be there. But now, I mean, you look at it now, and it's Derek Jeter. I mean, he goes every year. You know, A-Rod, guys that are just accustomed to doing these things.
The 0-1. And Blum lost it to left field. Gardner will put it away. 2 outs. And now, of course, the All-Star game counts. They have home field advantage. But since they've done that, they've never had a Game 7 in the World Series yet.
Right. And we talked about, you know, Jabba coming in today. I mean, he came in a big situation the other night. Got a couple outs. Ended up getting Andy Pettitte the win. But, this would be a great time for him to, you know, just dig a hole and be that person that Joe looks to every game in the 8th inning if it's close or if he needs work. Does today.
And the game's still within striking distance. 9-5 is certainly while they're covering up their O'Neill allegiance. 21-12. So O'Neill and Boggs, I guess.
Oh, I don't know if we ever sat that close together, even on the bench.
The 1-0. That is spanked into center field, and Granderson is right there to retire Manzella. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees are leading this one 9-5. you can own a Land Rover.
Bottom of the fourth. Robinson Cano, the sun was still out at that point. Ties the game. A breaking ball, shoots it out in the bullpen. Nothing new. It's his 13th of the year.
13. So that is the drive of the game. No, just one, Robbie. Just one today.
He's calling for two there?
I guess so. So there's a new pitcher. It's Jeff Fulcino. We saw him yesterday as the Astros try to get through here in the 8th inning, give themselves a chance in the 9th. Fulcino, 24 games, 7.83 ERA, 27 hits in 23 innings, walked 10, and struck out 23. And Fulcino, who pitched yesterday, is going to face Teixeira, Cano, and Swisher. Now, yesterday, Fulcino came on and gave up the home run to Derek Jeter, the 3-run home run, with runners on first and second. Some ice cream, Paul. Did you have yours today?
I had mine earlier. They took the handles off of it today. About when they shut down in there, about the 5th inning.
There you are on the screen. They give you a big ovation.
Hey, guys.
They take it off, I think, after the 5th inning.
Yeah. I went in there in the 6th just to get a little taste, and the handles were taken off.
But you had some early ice cream.
Well, going to double up. We're a little longer today.
Fulcino against Teixeira, fouled away. I mean, I think you've been very reasonable these 3 games. I don't think you've overeaten at all.
No. It's a day game, so I want to keep the nights open in case we go to a nice place,
So the 3 Phillies games, that's going to be different.
Big matchup on Wednesday we're talking about. I'm anxious to see that. How are they coming back?
Games on Tuesday.
Make sure give me a call, Michael. Let's make sure we're here.
Boy, when Ladder joins the booth next week, that's going to be like flying 2 kites in an electric storm for me. That one is ripped foul outside of first.
If fans could only see what, we're kind of winding down here today. They throw a little Bon Jovi on last inning. You're up rocking and rolling, dancing here.
Now that's an exaggeration.
Not much. It's all what you need to get through your games up here.
That's right.
Look at that.
He's got the do-right.
The mohawk working. The faux hawk, they call that, I guess. My son told me last night he was going to get the faux hawk. I looked at him like, really?
Did that hit him? Yeah, that time Teixeira said, "You sure?" Now look at the crowd, how alert they are. They remember what happened way back in the first inning. So this time Barrett says, yes, it did hit you. So Teixeira takes first.
I fouled the ball off, and you'll see. Watch this. See if this bounces before it hits. Not to hit him in the air. I hit him a shin, and then he came down. Just want to make sure. All right. We were in Montreal one day, and I fouled a ball off my foot, and it went fair. Well, obviously, it's a foul ball if it goes off your foot. Probably fouls it away. And Jim Joyce, who has been in the media lately, says, no, it didn't hit your foot. You're out. And I was screaming and yelling the whole game. And, as the game went on, I went in to change socks, and the toenail was gone. I fouled right off my toenail. So I'm running out to right field. And Jim Joyce, nice guy, he's talking to me, and he said, this kind of play only comes up with guys like you. And I said, you know what, Jim, I just looked at my toenail, and when this thing comes off, I'm going to send it to you in the mail just to prove that ball hit off my foot, all right? I don't know if he appreciated that, because that was the end of our conversation for today. So you say, did that affect Teixeira for a while? Yeah, it does. It irritates you.
It's irritating you, what, 15 years later?
That's right.
Did you ever send him a nail?
No.
That would have been great.
It would have finished. It would have made it for a better story, too, right?
It also would have ruined your relationship with Jim Joyce.
I had some great relationships with the umpires out there.
What's the best relationship you had with an umpire?
Randy Marsh was the best. as far as just talking. If he made a mistake, he'd tell you he made a mistake. Tim McClellan was good. You know, most of the umpires are very, very good. The only guys that really bothered me were the guys that didn't take into consideration that the players are under a little more than they are. You know, give them their say. Don't rip your mask off and look for a fight. And I talked about it yesterday. It was Brian Gorman, right? Mm-hmm. Player was yelling at him. He didn't say a word, didn't rip his mask off, and there was no confrontation. Sometimes I think umpires jump into confrontations more than they should. And I understand that, you know, that game, we have it in slow motion up here, and we're seeing more and more mistakes. It's a hard game to call because things happen so quick out there.
So now that you're not playing anymore, do you want to give the names of the umps that you don't like?
Well, that probably that won't go over well.
All right. You'll tell me later.
Yeah, let me start jotting those down for you on my top 10 list. Huh?
The 2-2 missed outside to Cano in the count 3-2. This game finishes a stretch of 16 games for the Yankees where they played teams that didn't have high winning percentages other than the Blue Jays. And they lost 2 out of 3 of the Blue Jays in Toronto. But if they win this game today, they would have been 12-4 over those 16 games, which is exactly what you need to do. You've got to beat up on teams that are not as good as you. And the Astros and the Indians and the Orioles, they're not as good as the Yankees. Runner goes and ball fouled off. Yankees played the Orioles 6 times in that stretch, and they played the Indians 4 and 3 with the Blue Jays and 3 here against the Astros. And this isn't college basketball where you make your own schedule. This is the schedule they were given, and you're not going to take away the wins, but you have to do what you have to do against teams that you should beat. And that's how you turn a good season into a great season. Runner goes, fouled away.
I agree with you, Michael. I think there's times that, especially as New York Yankees take the field, they should expect to win. I mean, they're the world champions. They've only strengthened their team by adding players. Obviously, they got some injuries now, but you know, on paper, they're better than almost every team in baseball. So when you take the field day in and day out, you should expect to win.
Runner goes again, and the pitch is low, so Cano walks. I think this is the kind of at-bat, Paul, that probably befuddles a team like the Astros, a team that's not very good, a team that, you know, as we've seen over the last 3 days, some of their players give away at-bats. Yankees are up 9-5. It's been raining for about an hour, and Cano will not swing at a pitch out of the zone.
Right, and you look at Cano's average, and if you're giving a lot of bats away, well, you make enough outs if you're 100% in it, concentrating every single pitch. But if you go up there, you know, lackadaisical and just think it's going to happen, it doesn't. There's a lot more to a major league at bat than it used to be a little league. And the guys that are able to stay in every single at bat are the guys that you'll see in the league leaders as the year goes on.
Here's Nick Swisher, an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Fouls that one away. Just watching Wade Boggs when he was here with the Yankees, and that was toward the tail end of his career, never gave away an at-bat. I mean, every at-bat to him was Armageddon. He was not going to just go up there and not do his thing, no matter what the score was, no matter how long the game was. The 0-1. 1-1. Sergio Mitre getting ready.
Check, 1, 2.
Now people see themselves on the big screen in the Great Hall. They start to wave. What's up, guys and gals? The 0-2. 1-2. Another guy who might or does deserve some consideration for the All-Star team is Nick Swisher. Swisher hitting 300 now, and 297 actually. No, he is at 300 even. 297 at the stadium. 339 with runners in scoring position. He's played very well all season, so he deserves consideration. The 2-2. And that, I don't know if he's going to end up being one of the 3 outfielders that are voted in, but it does present a problem for Joe Girardi. You don't want to take everybody on your team, and then it looks like you're just forgetting everybody else. But there have been managers that do that.
Oh, absolutely. And outfielders, hardest thing to make the All-Star team, because they put all the outfielders in one category.
Right.
And they do. I never did understand the Gold Glove thing, where they take just 3 outfielders instead of a right fielder, a left fielder, and a center fielder.
Because they're distinctly different positions.
And chances are you're going to, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have 3 center fielders, because those are the guys that are making the great plays, because those are the guys that are, defensively, they're in center field for a reason, because they can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, they should have 3 separate categories to vote for the All-Star team and for Gold Glove. Here's Jorge Posada, grand slam in the 5th inning. 2 walks, a strikeout. There's a strike.
Anxious to see, now you have these run of big games. How many of the games Jorge will be behind the plate? Is it going to be an adjustment of, catching a couple and taking one off, or if he automatically back in that everyday position? They're very happy with Cervelli defensively, and you don't want to jump Georgie back there. I mean, there's a big adjustment to your body when you get back there, and you're squatting for 9 innings, and you're getting beat up with balls. And looks like he's got his stroke and his bat's coming back.
One of the reasons that Girardi put Posada behind the plate today is he knows that there's a day off tomorrow, so that gives him a little bit of a rest. And Girardi understands that catching aspect because he lived through it.
Cervelli getting ready to go pinch run if Jorge gets on.
That one's driven to left field. Going back, Sullivan, and he'll make the play. So Posada drove that the other way, but Sullivan ran it down. So another good day for Posada. Grand slam each day. And that's going to bring up Brett Gardner. Gardner today is 2 for 3 with a walk, stolen base, run scored, RBI. Nice scoop there by Cash. And also made a really good catch in left field. Let's take a look at that one.
Take a peek at that wall. Know that you got 4 or 5 more steps before you're going to hit it. You can concentrate on catching the ball that way. Hardest thing to teach a young outfielder sometimes when that ball's over your head is to take your eye off the ball and then, find it again.
Now, all ballparks have padding now, but Wrigley Field still has the ivy. Did you play outfield differently at Wrigley Field because of the wall?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there were times where you knew you were going to crash into the wall and you were going to go for the ball. At Wrigley Field, you had to, because of the ricochet of the wall, too. I mean, it could come back hard off that brick wall early in the year. And so it definitely played a little bit different.
There's no padding given by the ivy, right?
No.
And even with the padding you see right there, there's concrete wall behind it. So if you run into that padding full speed, you will hurt yourself.
It's not a question. You will hurt yourself.
The 2-1. 2-2. I mean, you hear horror stories in the old days in baseball. There was a center fielder for the Dodgers who had a world of talent, Pete Reeser. And he kept running into walls and getting concussions and really ruined his career because of it. The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. So the runners will be going. Gardner has 37 two-strike hits this year. 63 hits overall. 2 strikes, that doesn't set him back. Runners go, and he walks.
Big opportunity for Huffman here. I mean, his family's still here. They haven't gone anywhere. Friends are still up there. He's had a lot of things go to right today. You know, he gets his first big league start, first big league hit. Parents are in the stands. Now you get an opportunity with bases loaded. Who cares the score? Just go up there, try to drive one in the gap.
Had his first big league hit in the 3rd inning, a slow roller towards short, so he got that out of the way. Then a walk, then he reached on a wild pitch after a strikeout, then grounded to 3rd. Count 1-0. So now he's looking for his first big league RBI. At AAA, he hit .279, 5 homers, and 22 runs batted in. Claimed off waivers from the Padres, a former 2nd-round draft pick for San Diego. That's driven the other way, and one of the reasons that you could assume that he was picked up by the Yankees, Kevin Towers used to be the general manager of the Padres, and now he works for the Yankees. And Towers is the one who made that pick. And there's his first hit, which he will remember forever. Those are his parents, pumped up as well. And Gene Monahan has the baseball, and Huffman has a smile. The 1-1. Popped up. And Keppinger puts it away for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. Last licks coming up for the Astros. They're down by 4. Well, coming up after the final out, Bob Lorenz is back in the studio for the WB Mason postgame. He'll give you highlights and analysis from this game and also around the major leagues. Plus, Jack Curry gets a reaction from the clubhouse. The WB Mason postgame. It's coming up only on Yes. Well, the Yankees are up by 4. It's not a save situation, but they do bring in Mariano Rivera with a day off tomorrow. They want to make sure to close this out and complete the sweep of the Houston Astros. Those are the numbers on Rivera. This will be his 24th game, a 1.27 ERA. So 9 hits and 5 walks. That's 14 base runners in 21 1/3 innings, 15 saves and 18 strikeouts. New battery as Mariano takes over on the mound, and Cervelli will take over behind the plate as Posada gave the Yankees 8 innings of catching for the first time since May 16th behind the plate. So Rivera will face Cash, Bourne, and Keppinger. Sometimes Mariano does. A lot of relievers don't pitch as well if it's not a safe situation. Mariano is not as guilty of that as others. We'll see how he does here. Well, 7 of Mariano's last 8 appearances have been hitless. And the pitch to Cash. Foul back.
You guys going out around here after this? You got dugout. Dugout? Right behind us.
The 0-1. Foul back. Cash has had a good day. 2 for 2, 2-run home run. Single. Walk.
It's fun to see him. He's not too crowded.
The 0-2. Outside 1-2.
You know, it's funny when a lot of people leave, during the rain in a game like this, it's like people get more room. They do crazier things. I'm kind of watching, looking below us. Guys are throwing stuff, looking around. You ever notice that, Michael?
Yes.
That's just me.
Also, longer games. People have been here a while. The 2-2 is foul back. And the pitch. Right back to Rivera. Now, Paul, this is the type of crew that we have. You mentioned that you would foul the ball off your foot.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
And Mike Bonner of the Yankees has
Montreal,
dug
June
it up.
7th.
Now, let's see if it, in fact, hit your toe.
I want to tell you something. Ouch! It hit me right on my toenail. I'm telling you, I lost a toenail. And you know what? That ball went to the first baseman. They called me out. I'm not even faking there. That hurt.
Oh, I wish that they had. Wish they had enough of the tape to tell us when they tell you
Let
were
me show
out.
you, Michael, where that hit right there.
You ever get that
That's
toe back?
amazing. Yeah, it took a while though. That's amazing. You just draw up anything you want now and pull it up.
I guess everybody's watching.
Yeah, I was called out on this one. Imagine that.
Unbelievable. I'm offended for you.
Good.
I remember doing that game and saying, I don't think O'Neill was hit on the toe.
Yeah. If we'd had yes slow-mo, we'd have known. Or yes
We didn't have yes in 2000. Yeah, that would have had to be MSG Mo back then. The 1-2. Bourne fouls it back. Astros 25-38, and the Yankees are looking for their 40th win. Strike 3. Bourne down looking. He's not looking happy.
Well, you're not the first guy to see that cutter from Mo right on the outside corner. You see that ball end up, probably got a lot of it right there. You know what, though, Michael? As you see that pitch, and you see that rain coming down even harder, I'm upgrading my forecast. You know what? We're going to get through this with no rain delay. You know what? I'm going all the way up to an 8.5.
And you're going to get to dinner. That one's fouled away by Keppinger.
The forecast has been upgraded, even in the rain.
But see, I'm going to tell you why it's a fraudulent upgrade. You're sitting here undercover. People that are sitting in the rain, I don't think they're giving it 8.5.
Look at that.
The 0-1. Count 1-1. He's not enjoying it.
Loves it, see? Little liquid sunshine out there.
Thanks to our crew, and they are out there in the rain doing a great job as they always do. We love them. The 1-1. 1-2. Now the Astros are down to their final strike before they have to leave New York. Yankees would like them to leave being swept. They're swept. As Keppinger swings and misses, Mariano works a 1-2-3 ninth, and the Yankees win this one 9-5. Well, a wet Sunday in New York City, but the Yankees were able to maneuver through the raindrops to win Phil Hughes' 19th game, get a grand slam for Jorge Posada, and get a sweep of the Houston Astros. And if the Tampa Bay Rays end up losing their game to the Marlins, the Yankees will be tied for first place. And this is Mo in Yes Mo. And how many times have we seen that at the age of 40, still dealing big time? And Keppinger swings and misses. The Yankees win this one 9-5. You got to stick around for the post-game show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. So it wasn't a save for Rivera, but he nailed down the final 3 outs. Yankees had to use 5 pitchers. Phil Hughes started, pitched 2 outs into the 6th inning. Marte got the final out there. Then Cano Park in the 7th, Jabba Chamberlain in the 8th, and Mariano Rivera pitched the 9th for the final 3 outs. So the Yankees won on Friday night, they won on Saturday afternoon, and they win here on Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow is a day off, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night against the National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. We got some awards to give out, and then we'll get the post game with Bob and Jack. Stick around. Yankees win this one 9-5.